whatever those symbols are.
Mm-hmm.
Inside of that, in that way. Shitposting happens in the Groypers because they think it's funny to be ironic. They think they're like hyper nihilistic, weird chaos gremlins. That's their thing. And that's why they do these types of shitposting. They make the extreme Nazi stuff match with furry porn. They have the weird hyper racism, misogyny match with uwu, because to them, the distance between them that they're able to collapse in order to push forward hyper fascism and Nazism, they think is hilarious. And again, that meme, any of those memes, sure, can be used by leftists in one capacity or another, but together, it is not hilarious that they're being used in that way. It's hilarious to Groypers. It's hilarious to people on 4chan that all of these things were written on bullets that were going to kill Charlie Kirk. That's what they think is funny. I don't see leftists thinking any of these things are funny to be on a bullet that's going to murder someone. That's what I go by. They think it's hilarious.
Do you think that?
See it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again,
why the? Hold on. I need to. Wait. Sorry, give me a second, because right now I'm just trying to see, because there's a lot of irony here, but I need to wait a second to see how it plays out. Because when the FBI or the who read it, when they were reading out loud what was written on the casings.
Wait. It was funny to hear the police say it.
Mm-hmm.
To hear a cop say those things. It was funny. Sure. That's how it works.
Wait. Jesus Christ.
So you do think that, are you saying that people on the left don't think that that's funny?
No, they think it's individually funny. It's not the same kind of funny that the Groypers think it is, though. There's a darkness to the way they're laughing about it that is different. People think using that or having...
The Groypers, everything that they do has a darkness that shrouds around it.
Well, the way that they talk about it, it does. Yeah. The post I saw that I think struck me the most, that I'm not sure I've seen a leftist say anything similar, was talking about how hilarious it was that his blood might be covering some of that and seeping into it. That's a little darker than I think just how funny it is to hear the FBI say some things.
Yeah, sure. Is that something that would be a quote that anyone here would suspect is from a leftist, or
it's from I mean, I don't think that would be a thing from a leftist. But
yeah, so that's a pretty different thing than like
his posting from a very particular account.
But why would we have the assumption that the way in which he was writing down these things on these casings, like we're imagining this like
I'm not. They're written on the casings. They were done intentionally, and they were intentionally put in the order that they were put on there by him as a grouping. They were the things he could think of that he thought would be good to put on the bullets. I'm assuming all of that. I think that's a fair set of assumptions. It's not wild. I'm not saying he thought it was like some grand thing. I actually think he thought he was being cute or funny, probably.
Wait, so then why are we making the so why are we making the link between the the message that is being created by the collection of these memes, which you are asserting is something which is explicitly Groyper or whatever, because it has to have a level of intent. But it seems like you're simultaneously sort of taking things individually and then collecting them together, and then no,
sort of, I guess. Maybe.
Yes, no,
Are
you
they debating right now?
Okay, you're not only doing this,
so
but
weird.
then you're also there's simultaneously this sort of utilization of this argument, and then like a distancing from it. And it's I'm getting like whiplash trying to like string these things back together in a logical, consistent argument, where it is the case that it's like, okay, they have to have some sort of political intent that is tied to the action that was done, because this is how the symbols work. And then also, if we start talking about what that intent is in any specific case, then we have to dissect it. And, you know, now it can be, well, you know, he probably, sure, he could have done it because he thought it was cute. He could have done it because he thought it was an inside reference or whatever. And then, no, it has a particular political meaning. And that's the reason why you reference the fact that Groypers find it funny in a very dark, particular way. Was tying it back together with the intent of why he put it on the casing. So, like, this is all over the place.
The collection of them together is not a thing that I have seen on the left, but these are all things that 100% you could see on a Groyper message board. All of them might exist at one point or another, as someone may say on the left, but together they don't have any signifiers as being cohesive. They do for Groypers. I mean, across the board.
No.
Every single one. Yeah.
No, I think every single one, every individual example, you would be more likely to see in lefty spaces. Every individual example, you'd be more likely to see in just vaguely lefty spaces. That includes the cultural spaces of lefties that might be on Twitter, whatever, that you might not even consider to be lefties. But those cultural groupings, you would be seeing the majority of these more often in those spaces.
Why the silence? What happened?
I think you may be giving more weight to how much I believe that this is a Groyper, but I'm wondering why you're so certain it's not. Because that's the
that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about which one is more likely, and you're telling me that it's more likely.
No, I'm leaning that way. Yes, because again, I haven't seen a single.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're talking about.
But every single thing works both ways. That's my point. Because again, if you're going to talk about who's playing this, well, the Groypers also did. People also did. Like these things aren't explicitly
who's wedding what
at all. None of those are explicitly leftist.
Wait, sorry. What did you say? Who's wedding? What?
I said
who's
playing sorry, my brain. The song. You use that as an example.
Bella Ciao?
But it's not Bella Ciao. It's not exclusively a leftist thing, though. It hasn't been for some time.
La cow?
It's pretty dominantly
It's
a leftist
ciao,
thing. It has
bambino.
been for a very long time.
It can be, but it isn't just that. In the same way that the other jokes aren't, and to your point, aren't exclusively incel or Groyper. They can be used by many different people because they're mimetic.
Okay,
So
but it would be of note to say if something is more often than not referenced in a particular space, whether or not that's going to have particular weight to what we're assigning it as. And it just is a million times more likely that you're going to be seeing any reference to Bella Ciao in lefty spaces versus like Groypers.
Okay.
Yeah, so that has a particular weight to it.
Absolutely a meme for Groypers for a short period.
For a very short period, that was specifically being used to shit on leftists because it was a reference to a song that they knew was popular with leftists.
And why would that not be the case here?
Okay. I mean, again, there's nothing that has shown.
Oh, you're here. Hello, Dev.
Bella Ciao is it? Sure,
Sophie
we can go
August.
with that.
Right.
I'm not saying Bella Ciao is it. I would say this, like I said just 2 seconds ago, is that I would say each one of these things you would be more likely to see in generally left spaces. And this idea that that there's some like striking like Groyper-esque thing about like
wait.
like any of these
Helldivers
things individually.
Helldivers is not a leftist place or community in any capacity. Helldivers memes are absolutely more.
Oh, I would put the Helldivers thing. Sure. I know that there's like a whole political sort of back and forth about the Helldivers
I got
thing.
chased out of that space because I got in a group with someone. I used to like Helldivers. And
well, this is one of those things where like Hearts of Iron, right? It's one of those kind of things.
Yeah, it's very much. It's a nightmare.
Well, do you know what I mean by that?
Hearts of Iron is a single-player game. Why would you care what other people think about it? God, I hate people that I hate the
where
sheep thing.
there's sort of a
I
like
really
a
hate
culture
it.
war type thing.
Oh
of
no,
people
I
trying
cannot
to
play
claim,
this game
like, who
because
gets to
a bunch
have
of other
this thing.
people
Like,
act weird around it.
Yeah,
Like, who
yeah.
cares? It's a
Um,
single player game.
again, all of
Enjoy
this-
your
again,
single player
let's
game.
say
Who
it's-
cares what the
I'll
community is
lean
like around
on
that
all of
game?
that. Let's say
I
it's,
don't.
45%. Let's say I'm leaning harder than you. I'm saying 45% Groiper, 55% that. To me, again, David Schuster.
My
Who has
God.
been doing journalism for 30 fucking years, has done really great work during all of that, has broken stories, has absolutely worked with sources, has done crazy
I actually even
shit
apply this
that's
to
really incredible.
multiplayer
Speaking
games. I
about
just
some of
play
these
with normal
reports, he
people.
took down,
I don't care about
Semi-Dim. He took down
weirdos
some
playing
Republicans.
multiplayer
He's
games. That does
very,
not ruin the
very
experience
good at what
for
he
me.
does. And he
I
has
just don't
not,
play with
all
weirdos.
that
It's
time,
as
and
easy
I-
as that.
I try to follow some
Okay?
of these reports. Some of them I like. He hasn't done anything that has shown that he's willing to bullshit sources to get points. And that's fine if this is, and it's like, hey, I trust that you would not take this person's voice the same way I would. I take his voice. If he says,
Oh my God, I have
What's
to
the
learn
quote that he
this
said?
pattern.
What's the quote that you said that he said that he is a source, right? I'm looking at his Twitter. It just looks to be like a bunch of very, very sloppy, lazy retweets and piecing
There is
together.
no source. He just claims that according to something,
Just what did you
that
say was
according
the
to
thing that he said? No,
interviews,
just what did
he
you say
didn't
was the
like
thing?
that Charlie Kirk
Specific
was
one.
not
According
enough.
to Utah officials and police interviews with his family, Tyler Robinson hated Charlie Kirk because Kirk wasn't concerned.
This is
enough.
nothing. This is
Robinson
not.
reported
This
the
is not
environmental
enough for me.
influence. He literally tweeted, and again, that's not a retweet. That's not him saying anything someone else is saying. That's him putting it specifically on himself.
That's not enough for me to make that
Sorry,
determination.
repeat that.
I'm sending it to you right now.
This
He doesn't
tweet is
a lot,
not
and
enough.
It's annoying as shit, but it is Twitter. So what are you gonna do?
Sure. It just like a lot of these things just seem like kind of more of the childish shit that I saw with Adam from before.
I understand that. David Schuster has 30 plus years of real reporting, and again, he may.
I'm
burn
sure
me.
Adam's
And
got
you
some
know
shit
what?
under his
I'll
belt
be a-
too, but I can't just go on, you know.
Well, I don't know Adam, so I don't value him in the same way. I've known David Schuster and I've followed him. He's done good.
No,
reporting.
sure, fair enough. But you know, as long
you
as you
don't
know
have
that
to
there's
trust him. I'm
nothing
not
that I
asking
can
you
do to listen to you about this, because even if I were to listen
Also,
to
I
you on
hate
this,
to be that
would be
person,
stupid.
but just because
not
you've
asking you
done
to.
good work in the past, it doesn't follow it. You won't do
I'm just saying,
shit
I'm literally
work
not asking you to.
right now. Like, I hate to be
I-
this, you know.
I just was coming on to explain why I believe this, and you're asking me to.
You cannot
listen to
just
you
believe
on it.
something based
Actually,
on
you're
past
saying I'm
precedent.
retarded for the-
You
for
should
the belief in the way that I'm
believe
looking at
something
this.
based on
I'm
the
being very
provided
open. I'm
evidence
not
right
saying
now,
that I'm
not on
certain.
based
I've
on
been,
past
I lean this
precedent.
way
That's
because of
not
these
good.
things. We disagree on them, but
That's not good.
You know, the way
To
we
just
put on
believe
these
something
things
based
is
on
not-
past
I'm
good
not
work.
certainly saying that you're wrong. I haven't said anything like that.
That
I
is
don't agree on
very-
your interpretation of it.
that
but I
is
haven't
actually
said
very
I'm right. I'm
bad.
certain. Hardly. I'm saying this is why I'm pointing at this.
That is a
I
bad
didn't
thing
call
to
you
do, to
retarded
just
for
believe
shit.
something just because
Okay,
of
I'm
past
sorry
good
that I
work.
called you retarded. That was very, very mean of me.
No, it's fine to call me retarded.
It is fine to call you
it's,
retarded.
Saying over and over, I'm saying things in bad. I'm trying to tell you my general position. I'm not being in bad faith. I'm trying to explain.
No,
it's more emotional.
hold
I
on.
don't have proof. I don't have proof.
I don't
of
want
any
to. I
of
don't
it.
want to chase around these. I don't want to chase around this fucking. I don't want to chase around these random points.
No, I'm not.
When
I'm
I
just
when I
saying,
said that you're being bad faith, it's in regards to particular arguments. If we want to go back around in
Sure.
circle, why the
But again,
particular
it's a
arguments that
proof.
you're
I'm
using
trying
were
to
bad
say,
faith,
My point is
we
that
can do
you're
that if you want.
misinterpreting that. It's not me being bad faith. I am specifically saying here's why I emotionally am landing where I'm at. There's no way for me to make anything but semi-bad faith arguments at that point. Same for you. There's no evidence. There's nothing out there. I'm leaning the way I'm
That
leaning.
is true. We don't
Maybe
have
it's a
enough
fair
information.
lean.
That's why we should
I
not be
think
making
everyone's saying
definitive
certainty is
statements
insane,
about
but
who is
like when I
or
watch-
is not
one's
why.
saying, no one's saying certainty here.
When I watch the Groipers and Nick just 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, doing a huge giant thing about how Charlie Kirk is a shill and informant for Israel and how someone needs to deal with him. Weird. Like shit like that is like, but Charlie Kirk hasn't been a figurehead for me. Like, again, these are emotional arguments. I'm not saying otherwise, but that's why I'm leaning the way I'm leaning. We'll see, because this is going to come out. If David has sources, and if I tend to believe he does, this shit's going to come out. There's no way it doesn't. So,
Yeah, if
and
he has
nothing
if he
comes
has a
out-
source for this claim that is directly saying that, that Charlie Kirk is a shill and informant for Israel, and how someone needs to deal with him, this is going to come out. There's no way.
That is very bad.
That you know is directly saying that, you know, someone needs to deal with him, this is going to come out.
He's the type who wouldn't say otherwise. Like if he's typing like that, and it's
That-
weird, I know, because X and Twitter.
We'll
have
see.
some
We'll
shit
have
that-
just
that
have to wait
Robinson
and see.
explicitly said
We'll have to wait for the
that
sources.
he admires Fuentes. Yeah. Yes, if there's a source for this, yeah, I think we got it figured out.
if he's stating it. But again, David
If he's
Schuster, you
stating
don't
it,
have to
yeah.
believe. But he's stating it that he has these sources, and he's explicit. Retweets are not endorsements, but when he's typing something, you can go through his feed. It's fascinating. Some of the stuff he's broken and stories he has. I tend to like the guy, and we don't
That's
agree on
meaningless if you
politics,
tend to
but
like the
he's-
guy. It's just
He's
just
done
because
solid
he's
stuff.
got good stuff, it doesn't mean that he won't do bad
But
stuff
again,
now.
We'll see. And my money is we will find out. We will learn my way. I do think we will learn that way. But if we learn the other way, I'm happy to come on here and have you shellac me and call me a fucking retard and then I'm a dumb fuck. For
You are
happy
you are a
to do that.
retard and a dumb fuck. And
so
a lot
are
of your
you.
arguments
So
were
are
bad
you.
faith. But
Well, same with you.
and honestly, I think what I would say is I would assume that
This is so silly.
this
Oh my
tweet
gosh.
here is probably leveraging a large part of your bias when talking about the individual
I think so.
points.
Well, no, I mean, that's why I opened.
Like absolutely if you're talking about either the
Yeah, that's why I opened with it.
if you the individual points of the individual points of like the if you're reading this your gay thing or the Helldivers thing or the Bella Chow thing or any of these things.
Well, I just think I wasn't making my point clear on those because again, it's not really an individual point, but that's fine. Like it's fine. I've had a long day. I was up to all night editing and doing a video, and my goal is not to argue specifically that any of those things are impossibly lefty. It's just how I'm viewing them and how I see the semiotic structure of it, which is a disagreement.
Oh, this is gonna be silence now?
So you really haven't seen any of these references before at all?
No, I've seen some references, but again, as explicitly lefty things, no, not really. Look, I
Wait,
honestly haven't heard
aside from Bella Chow.
the fascist thing. Yeah, I've seen that.
Huh?
Definitely.
What do you the fascist thing?
The a fascist catch, that running joke.
No,
Yeah,
Bella
I've seen
Chow. Bella Chow.
that. Bella Chow as well. I've seen that. I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't seen. It's not like.
Do you know what the song is, right?
Asked me about it if you had asked me about it 3 days ago, I'd also have to spend time thinking about what the fuck that is. Sorry. I'm
Do
not
you,
as
you know what it
revolutionary
is
as-
though, right?
I'm aware of what it is after I think about it. Yes, I had to like pull it up and listen to it and go, oh yeah, okay.
Oh my
Like
god.
what it's about and stuff like that.
I don't. It's been a while. I don't care.
What?
Oh, it's a song about specifically
Oh my
killing
God.
fascists in Italy.
Yeah.
During World War
Why
II.
would you not what? This is silly.
It's basically like like one of the do you know the song Black and Tans?
Do you know the song "Glory, Glory, Hallelujah"?
Mm-hmm.
That's a revolutionary song for leftists. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, "Glory, Glory, Hallelujah." It's about John Brown.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Most people don't realize that, but it started as a John Brown song
Okay. Oh my
that
gosh.
the North wrote
But
and sang as they marched.
I'm genuinely asking. Do you know what Black and Tans is? Do you know the song Black and Tans?
No. I'm not as revolutionary. I'm sorry.
It's not a
Do you
revolutionary
mean
check.
Guinness?
This is
I
this
know
is a
Guinness.
very very
I
like
drink
big
Guinness. I drink Guinness. Like a black and tan?
This is a very silly conversation all
Sorry,
of a
it's a beer
sudden.
joke. I don't know the song, no.
Why is this conversation so silly all of a sudden?
I promise you, it's not a a lefty or sorry a Portland thing.
Black and tans probably isn't. I don't know.
No, neither is Bella
I
Chow.
don't know it.
Yeah,
I
neither
know
is
the
Bella
drink.
Chow.
That's it.
Yeah, these are super super popular, especially in like
Apparently,
anti-fascist lefty.
obviously, I'm not someone who's plugged into internet culture or lefty culture at all, so clearly it's a huge deal.
Not just like internet culture. Listen, like I said, it's not about like me. I guess I am surprised that you don't know that song, but it's not about whether or not like how lefty you are, but the Black and Tans and Bella Ciao explicitly are not just
It's a half and half. It's a beer.
It's a
Boddington's,
deep
and Guinness. It's excellent.
it's a these are deeply tied to the anti-fascist sort of culture. This has been passed down. Yeah, this is.
Well, it's a shame I'm not a half Irish. Oh wait, again, that's fine and that's great. But again, signifiers are signifiers. What they are is not really like signifiers are signifiers if they're signifiers. That's how that works. Like they don't operate because they are what they are. Like that's like that's fine if that's what they are amongst various communities. But like again, Black and Tan's a fucking good beer. You mix half Boddington's, half Guinness. Guinness goes on top, looks cool, drinks nice, gives the heavy stuff 1st and you get the second drink after. Lovely, right?
Kidnatkin is
Yeah, but you
frustrated.
understand why the prominence of these things in particular spaces is probably like
Very frustrated boy.
extremely relevant, right?
Sure. I mean,
This
yeah,
is two frustrated
but
men.
again, I would have to understand the
Discussing.
relevance and the relevance of what it is on the left versus the irony and codedness of what it is for groypers, I think is significant. But hey, again, we weight these things differently.
Silence again.
Sure. That doesn't add up at all, but sure.
What
I
doesn't
guess
add up?
that's
It
the
doesn't,
end.
well, it doesn't make sense to talk about, on the one hand, the prominence of the use of these memes with groypers, and then when it comes to the prominence of particular signifiers within lefty spaces, that is kind of like I don't know. And then it's like, okay, well, if you're going to be making any sort of assessment, like, isn't that kind of the point? Isn't that the point? If you're going to be saying there's a prominence of this particular kind of thing in groyper spaces, and then I say, okay, but there's a very big prominence of this.
I may be resistant, and that's fine. I may be resistant simply for the fact that I like to consider myself somewhat on whatever the left may be considered. I like to consider myself somewhat online and somewhat active, who's taken part in a lot of these things. That I'm unaware of these things, generally speaking. Yeah, but I am aware of them as groyper memes primarily, is kind of why I'm coming at it the way I'm. Different experience of these things, but again, yeah, that's my experience of life and how I've dealt with these things is there.
My experience of
And
life.
when it's like, oh, I've never heard of this. Oh shit, the left can use it or has used it in the past, and also groypers use it, and I go, well, I've not heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not equivalent at all, is what I'm saying. Is that like there's actually it's like on the one hand fascinating that you're not aware of it, to a certain degree, but also it's like if we are talking about how we're going to be weighing these things, that is sort of like primary to.
You're going to weigh things differently. You're in different.
No, it's not that
communities.
I'm going to weigh things differently. It's that they are weighted differently. If we're going to be talking about what do you think the possibility of this?
These things?
Sorry?
The transcendent truth value of these things. These are weighted differently. You're aware of that.
No, this is not the transcendent truth value of the thing. If we are talking about,
It is.
no, it's not. If you think that it is, then you don't know what my
definitionally,
argument
if
was.
I'm
No,
saying this
if
is
you
my
think that
experience
if
and
you
this is
think
three
that that's what that
times.
is, then you've misunderstood my argument.
I mean, again, if your argument is, well, Brooks, you haven't heard these things, but I'm so certain that this guy who wrote these things specifically came from it in these directions. It's like, well, how you assumed I knew these things and I didn't.
No, I'm not
So-
talking. No. Okay, so you didn't understand my argument.
You actually thought I was lying that I didn't know these songs.
No.
I was fucking with you.
I'm sorry. Did you think that I thought that you were lying? There's no.
I thought you thought I was making a joke that I didn't know it. You asked 5 or 6 times, "Are you serious? Are you serious?"
No, that's not me. No, I'm sorry. That's a communication thing, I guess.
All right.
Maybe that's him just being in disbelief that
if someone says,
he could
"Are you
not.
serious?"
Could just signify that he is in disbelief that
I
he
guess it
doesn't
depends
know
on
it.
at what point? But like that's
He's
just me
shocked
being
that he doesn't know.
surprised. That's just me trying to figure out how the fuck am I supposed to.
See, and
Let-
but kid, here's the thing.
What the hell?
Stop.
Drumac's
Stop.
making the point
Stop.
as I take it.
Stop.
Drumac's making the point as I take it. That's how I take it.
You gotta let me finish sentences, dude.
All right, sorry.
Or else I'm gonna take longer in between each time to try and catch back up to what I was saying, and then it's gonna be even more confusing. Especially if you think that when I was saying "Are you serious?" that was me saying that you're a liar. But
Oh no, not explicitly liar. That probably came out strong.
it was an expression of me saying that I'm surprised, that it's surprising to me.
What the fuck?
Especially because, but like. Different background. Okay, different background. I thought there was more overlap in that sort of that background, but
No.
No.
ultimately, when it comes to I don't know where the transcendent truth value came from. When we're talking about a it's like, hey, if we were to say, hey, do you think that he is more like? Do you think that it's more likely that he is a groiper? Or do you think that it's more likely that he is someone that's on the left? And then we can say what we think, and then we can explain why we think it. And then if we think that somebody is weighing the probabilities different in a way that's not as accurate, then you can sort of flesh out what that difference is, right? So that if I were to say something like that, like this reference here is, I think, a lot more prominent than you're giving it credit for. That's going to change the weight that otherwise would have been considered for you determining whether or not he is or is not a groiper.
It worked before.
And then you might say, okay, but did you know that this is a viral meme?
frustrating.
And that this is something that would maybe change the weight of whether or not it is or is not being weighed in that direction. There's nothing about the transcendent truth value of the thing. This is talking about how we're going to be weighing these things in order to come to any sort of that, plus also applying a certain, I guess, a standard of logic here, because there's a couple different shortcuts that I think are happening as well.
All right. Well, one of them that, like I brought up again, is statistically he's right wing because he did violence like this. Political violence is statistically a right wing thing, almost entirely.
Sure.
And so, starting from that position, I kind of need a big reason for me to think that this is the 1 in 100, not 50-50. And I have not seen anything that would push me over that line.
Well,
The leftists
one
who
big
have
one
done
would
violence that we've
be
seen- real quick. The leftists we have seen who have done this have been explicit about it. They've left manifestos. They've made it's an explicit political thing. They've done that again, not necessarily saying they have to, but again, political violence is a right-wing action.
Sure. However, one big thing that does have weight to it is that Charlie Kirk is a fascist and one of the most prominent ones, and then one of the most divisive, or not divisive, but one of the most infuriating ones. One that he knew that he was so hated that he wore a bulletproof vest.
That didn't help him, did it?
And he is one of the most vile, toxic, aggressive, and difficult, and rhetorically skilled, which also means it pisses you off. Fascist.
I mean, he challenges college kids.
If there's,
He was not
do you
rhetorically
want to talk about
skilled.
the rhetorically skilled part thing? If you want to,
No, I'm just like it's these are things that
no.
like sure upset people, but again, I'm asking at what point
Was silly.
this turns him into a target for the left specifically, for political violence again. Like, why are
What
these
turns
things
Charlie
things
Kirk
that
into
do
someone that someone on the left would want to kill?
more than
Because he's one of the
someone-
most
again,
effective
What?
fascist propagandists that exist.
Why are they talking about him in the present tense as if he was still alive?
Is that not? Does that not answer the
That
question
would
at all?
be
Is that
a
not?
literal reason also for people on the right, wouldn't it? Like, that's why, I mean, as Nick Fuentes
Yes,
himself
it
has
could,
said,
yes.
that's one of the reasons Charlie Kirk is dangerous to them.
Oh, wait, is this an either? Is this going to be like an either or thing, or is this?
No, this
I'm
is,
saying that
again,
like
I'm
this
at-
that
like,
would have to be something
that he
considered,
is a
right? You
politically
just wiped the
effective
slate,
person
and now we're
just makes
putting.
him more of a target. I'm asking why you would say that someone on the left would be more. Again, I'm not asking why he's a target. I understand why he's a target.
I feel like
but
the
why
question
he's a
just
target
changed.
for leftists.
Did I get confused?
Because
I feel
again-
like the question just changed. Did you not ask
Why is he
why
a
he would be a
target?
question for why he would be a target for the left, and then when I told
Correct.
you
And
why,
you
you
answered
then
for
said, "Well,
all
no.
people,
What I
not
meant
leftists."
was, how does he become a target for the
No, no,
left?
I
In
said leftists.
particular,
I opened with
not
the que-
for no. The in
question
particular
was
seems to be
leftists.
added.
You just said so. My question was, why is he a target for leftists, not why is he a target? If
In
if,
particular,
for
are you saying in
example-
particular? So it has to be something that is unique to the
Yes.
left, not
hate this
something that
enemy.
can be on like.
I
the
hate
things
this
you
attack.
just mentioned are reasons why Islamic Jihad wanted him gone too. Like, I'm not quite certain.
I
how any of
think
these
that
things
this is
make
the
him a
bias
target
thing
for the
coming back
left.
again. I think this is the bias thing coming back again because it shouldn't be a
No, it's starting
resistant
from the
point.
same place. It's
No, there shouldn't be a
99 out of
resistant
every
point.
100 people who do political violence are right wing.
Yes.
So-
Yep.
Why is this the one?
Why is this the one? I'm sorry. If you're going to be incredibly like hyper particular about the words that you're using, almost like what seems almost
Yes.
evasively particular.
Why is this the leftist?
It seems
The one.
evasively particular. The idea that this is the one, this is the only one. What am I going to be?
No, the one in 100.
How
99.
I'm trying to figure out if
that's what-
if this question is going to change shape after I answer it.
I haven't changed shape. Again, as I said, why is this
The last one
target
became a
leftist?
particular, but
Because I was using it as an example. Because the point is, if something happens 99 times out of 100, if I flip a coin 99 times and it shows up red, and I flip a coin and I cover it, and you go, no, this one's blue, I need to know why you'd say that. And it's particular. Because it's the one. Why is this the one, not the other 99? Because it's most likely it would be the other 99. That's statistics, and that's the
Yeah.
thing we do know about all of these things. Violent actions and shootings like this are right wing.
yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. When we're talking about political violence, and we're talking about what motivates someone for political violence, when we're talking about how how it is a thing that is done, that is acted out, right? And we talked about this with school shootings, for example, right? And when we were talking about the very particular complexities with school shootings that make it as such that it cannot be something that you copy and paste necessarily onto every single situation, right?
Correct.
That it's not something that you just it's not something that's going to just keep identically reproducing itself, and that makes it easy for you to
Correct.
deal with, right? I don't want to do that here either, and I think the coin flip example is a bad one because I think
I'll make
I'm
a
just
better
giving
one.
you
We'll do school shootings. I can do that one.
Okay.
If we were to hear that a school shooting happened anywhere in the country, and someone said, "Wow, it's a girl who did it. A girl shot up a school." The idea that that would be the case, I think, is fair to go, no, probably not, and to wait for pretty significant evidence to say otherwise. That girls have done this. This is not purely a dude thing, but, and again, biological males are the ones who do this 99 times out of 100. So, saying
yeah,
it's
and if they were like completely ambiguous,
Yeah,
then I know where I would put the money. You know, if they were completely ambiguous, I know where I would put the money. For sure.
Which is, again, what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I don't think that this is ambiguous. And I understand that you're coming from a position of saying that you do think that it's ambiguous. That's why we were talking about the weights, right? That's the point.
I think we don't have enough information.
Whether or not this thing is as prominent as you think, or this thing is as prominent as I think, or whatever, and trying to have an assessment for those things. So yes, it is noteworthy to say that most political violence is done by the right, for sure. But I wouldn't be reductive about that fact, and I would also recognize that the fact is that there's very there's particularities to it, where a lot of political violence, when it comes from the right, is not necessarily just a I guess let's pull up numbers. When you say political violence, I think actually Sulfur put a bunch of resources in the Discord too. We can look at how these are being, because I'm curious how these are being actually defined. Is a shooting of someone from another race that's motivated by politics, is that political violence?
I don't know exactly how they define it, and I'm not sure exactly because I'm using the statistics of the studies, and so I'm not going to necessarily define it in a way that's counter to those. They have a pretty decent way of going about it that has to do with about affecting politics or being an explicitly known act that change. Like it's like the way that we talk about terror or terrorism. You can talk about anything being terrorism, but terrorism is particularly a political act intended to inspire terror to push for political change. So there's like some really particular wording around it. Let me see if I can find. Let me see if I can find.
Am I just now finding out that there's no Scholar alternative on DuckDuckGo? Oh.
I'm not sure. Z library is what I tend to use. So if you have a paper you need, let me know. I'm happy to sort of help and get that across. Just got to send me the title.
I'll just do it the lazy way.
That is fair.
I hate the protests being tied into this.
Try to find the definition they use, because that's actually a really interesting question.
Well, because if it's so particular in the same way that we're approaching it with that conversation,
it is.
Then it almost seems counterintuitive to try and just use a incredibly vague category of a sort of statistical notion without qualifying that at all. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Let me. The way that
Sulfur gave me a bunch of shit. Let me see what's in here. And this isn't, obviously, we both know the vast majority of political violence is on the right.
Well, it's not just that the vast majority of political violence is the right, it's that the violence perpetrated by the left is actually rarely against people. It's on top of that, so it's like
well, that's one of the things that I don't the thing that I don't like, right?
Well, I'm sure we can say we don't like it, but the
no, I mean as a basis of analysis in this respect, right? Like,
well, I think it's fair if people don't die and you blow up a pipeline. I think that's vastly different than bombing somebody. I think it's worthwhile to actually compare the two. Violence is
Yeah,
violence.
no, I'm not saying it's of no value. I'm saying that if it comes to a targeted assassination of a particular political figure, then that is the specifics that I think would be more relevant to it. Not while there's a lot that you can say about the proclivity to violence, right? And also not just the proclivity to violence, but where that sort of proclivity or like this, where that comes from, right? Culturally. If we were then going to say, okay, we're like, because obviously it wouldn't be fair if it was about like, okay, like what group is more likely to do political violence? And it's like, well, if we look at this, if we look at the political violence of people on the left that are breaking windows at Starbucks or something, and it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
But I think that the thing is that these studies were, so I just sent over a study from Princeton, for example, that does go through this. They talk about specifically that they first went with a primary predictor of ideology, mutually exclusive categorical variables, and included individuals identified as committed to either Islamist, right-wing, or left-wing causes. Examples of groups supporting Islamist ideology like Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah. Examples of groups supporting right-wing ideology included KKK. They have a list at the end.
Right.
And National Alliance. Examples of groups of left-wing ideology included Animal Liberation Front and Weather Underground. Right-wing supporters were about 59%, left-wing 23%, Islamist 18% of sample. We created 2 dummy-coded variables. They have an entire thing here, but violence. Our main
Very
outcome was
science,
whether the
yeah.
act was,
Very science here.
but the main outcome was whether the act committed by an individual was violent. The data set coded as violent cases where there's strong evidence that individuals were conspiring to kill or injure even if they failed to do so. Cases were coded as non-violent, where it was clear from the source documents that individuals did not intend to harm others, including acts of vandalism, protest, fraud, and property destruction, where the perpetrators took measures to ensure no one was injured or killed. A drastically different setup between these. And they really specifically dive into all of these things, global terrorism, how these things worked. And this study is very particular as a thing. And I think this is where we start having real conversations around what these things mean and how they set up.
People are not simple statistics, though.
I'm trying to make it so it's not short.
So, what did you mean by the What are you referencing here? When you said the most of the left-wing terrorism and extremism is oriented around sabotage versus targeted killing, while right-wing and Islamic terrorism is more likely to have a body count. What are you referencing here?
I think she's referencing the paper we're talking about, even.
Is it?
I mean, this is kind of what they come with. So that 29% of variance in violence attributable to the group, 13% of the variance was attributable to the country. We added the ideology of the perpetrator as predictor. The results are presented in Table 3. They show ideology significantly related to the odds that an attack would result in fatalities. In comparison to terrorist attacks committed by right-wing perpetrators, terrorist attacks by Islamists had 131% higher odds of fatalities. Attacks by left-wing extremists had 45% lower odds of fatalities. So it's a significant drop in deaths, basically, from just by being left-wing as an ideological category. Significant drops from right-wing. On top of it,
yeah, but not just as numbers, but as a qualifier of the action.
As results as well. Correct. So it's not only fewer things, but also fewer people hit.
Yeah, specifically because of the nature of the thing, because of the nature of the action.
Nature of the ideology, they say.
Yes, in turn, the type of action it is.
The left-wing people tend to go out of their way more often. There are some that still have general violent actions, but the left tend to go very out of their way to make sure there are not people hurt. And if people are hurt, like Weather Underground, for example, killed a cop, it was incidental to the rest of the acts, and they took great lengths to not have that happen, but it did happen.
Okay, but think about
think about this. Okay, that's just making a stronger case for your speculation, though.
The amount of people who die from political acts of violence versus
this conversation is not even all that helpful, in my opinion.
You would have two very different answers.
I would need to see a study.
And they would be incredibly misleading, right? This is an example. This is an example, right? Just make sure that we're on the same page about this.
It's an interesting thought experiment, but it doesn't really bring us anywhere.
This is. I didn't say any. I didn't make any fact or claim. I'm saying that there is a there's a
this doesn't take us anywhere
in the analysis. If you were to use two different studies, one is talking about body count, and one is talking about acts of political violence.
I mean, okay,
right?
I tend to go with the FBI and acts of political violence that they show that absolutely.
I'm not saying one is better than. I'm making sure that it's.
There are two different stats that need to happen here. Yes, but again, I think we agreed, and we had a discussion last night. That's why I'm kind of assuming that the fact that the left overall does fewer acts of violence. I thought we agreed on that last night. We were having that debate. If we don't, we can go into that.
Again? How many times do they debate? How many times do these people debate?
What I'm saying here.
Jesus Christ.
I don't think.
How often do these people debate?
I'm not saying that is in contention. The thing that I'm trying to highlight is the type of action that is in question. The specific kind of action that's happening on the basis of the fact that people on the left, if they commit political violence, it's going to be either like, nobody's hurt, or it's going to be very targeted, like a assassination, as opposed to like a mass shooting or what have you.
Okay, there are many examples, and I can pull them out, of right-wingers taking out people who aren't as right-wing. Like,
I'm not saying that it's a.
This is a thing that again happens.
This is a bias thing. This is a bias thing. There's no.
No, I'm asking.
No, it is a bias thing because
this.
That is not even close to the.
Where are the left-wingers who do this? That's all I'm asking.
No, you're responding, dog. You're responding to. You think that I'm telling you right now, dude. I'm telling you that you misunderstood. I don't know why you keep interrupting when I'm trying to clarify what you're saying. I know that. That's what I'm trying to tell you, dude. Okay. I'm not saying that leftists assassinate people more often.
I won.
I'm saying that they are more. Like,
this fight is over. I won finally.
I'm just quoting this.
Right.
So you don't have to question me about.
It's the end.
The one I sent over.
Huh? Yeah.
Whoever is watching this stream will now witness me winning this fight for at last.
I can't see your stream. I'm not watching your stream, so we don't get echoes. Sorry.
Here we go. I won. Not offline even. I won it on stream.
Looking at I'm reading in chat. You'll be looking at the modality of violence in extremist movements if you wanted to examine the relationship between ideology and its expression. If you wanted to isolate all property-specific crime to remove it from the data set. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so when we're looking at the thing that we're doing, the reason why we're pulling this up,
yes,
is to assess the situation that happened with the assassination or of Chuck E. Cheese, of Chucky getting cheesed, right?
Yeah.
And
right.
If we were to say simply, people on the right do this more often.
They do.
The thisness of it.
Yes, correct.
The thisness of it is specifically in question. Yeah, it is specifically in question because the particularities matter here.
Okay.
They matter for having an assessment of
at least we have the best music for this one. Oh my god.
Right? Okay. Like how many people killed Charlie Kirk?
What?
You know,
what are we saying? So okay, so right. That's not how these things. So my question would then be, since
I hope, just to be clear, I hope you don't think that just meant that I'm saying that all statistics don't matter about this, because I could very easily see you thinking that I'm saying that.
But I'm pretty sure you are implying through the other conversations that statistically the other things are more likely and the other memes are more likely to be lefty, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay, which is fair. That those things have been seen on the left and a little bit on the right, sure. When's the last time a lefty did this? Just period.
Honestly, if you were to tell me, like, if you were to ask me to recount the every wait, dog, please don't interrupt me, dog.
Dog.
If you were to ask me to recount every like political assassination that I can think of, I'm not going to give you that many off the rip. I'm not going to give you that many. Not in any sort of meaningful way, right? Like, I know that there's been a attempted
when you fight to learn,
or multiple assassinations from the left during a particular period in U.S. history, which you like the history of the propaganda of the deed and all of that. In a moment like that in history, you won't find the straight line between the probabilities between the left and the right and who's doing more of these targeted political acts, because there was a moment of U.S. history in which there was this sort of ideological wave of making the argument, of making that example, propaganda of the deed, right? Do the thing, and then it'll and yeah, that resulted in a dead U.S. president, and that resulted in
a couple of them.
And that resulted in like capitalists being killed and stuff like that. And these were targeted assassinations. And when you look at that throughout like the entire course of U.S. history, you're going to see that this is not a static sort of you can't just simply say, like, if you're in between this period and the next, it wouldn't make sense to say who does it more often. It would be basically meaningless, because it's getting rid of all of the historical context that you're talking about, the ideological shifts that are happening.
I think there's some room. Like, we can talk about it.
There's some room. There's always some room, but you do have to get closer to the particular.
I don't know what this conversation is even.
Or a more right.
Hodgkinson. It's worth knowing the name. Hodgkinson, a major Bernie supporter, attacked a baseball game, a congressional baseball game. It's the Steve Scalise thing that they.
What does this accomplish?
Talking about this. That's the last time a lefty did anything like this. And it was 2017. And prior to that, like, it had been, we'll just say a few years. But in those years, the number of right-wingers who did this to both Republican and Democrat leadership, whether it was chasing them down, whether it was...
I heard you say that Crooks was a right-wing, and so I would need to know more specifically the examples of the right-wing people that you're talking about here.
I mean, I would assume anyone, you can assume I'm saying anyone since then is either apolitical, unknown, or right-wing since 2017 is the only one I'm aware of where it was explicitly definitely a left-winger.
Okay. So basically neither one of us have a lot of examples off the rip that we can just pull out. Not the best. It's not the best. It's not the best to work with, right? And it doesn't really make.
I mean, it is
much
if we
sense
want to talk
to
about
work with.
right-wingers, because I can just go literally 2 months ago to Minnesota as an example, where a Republican had a hit list and began carrying.
Wasn't there a
their home
16-year-old doing a thing very recently?
Yeah, and particularly, it'd be kind of ridiculous to talk about it at all if you weren't also talking about the rise in right-wing violence as well, right? That the just like the example that I made with the propaganda of the deed, where you saw a wave of political violence coming from the left, is that you see a particular kind of wave of political violence happening from the right now. Right? fuck, I think I...
What happened? What happened now? Look, these weird pauses.
One sec. I accidentally closed.
Should raid me after this.
Again, I leave
Sorry, wait, but hello.
If it
My
is a
shit closed. I don't.
left-wing-
Everything that you've been saying for the past 2 minutes, no one heard it. I didn't hear it. No one heard it. Sorry, I accidentally closed my shit.
My God.
I wasn't in this room at all.
Oh,
That's great.
well, that sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it
both
does.
kept talking, but
That's
Oh, well.
suck.
but they kid silencing leftist voices. Yeah.
That's it. My final point, look, simplest thing. If this is a lefty, it is actually a sociological thing that is worth us taking note of, that things have changed for the left. And I mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is not a small thing to say has happened. If it is,
And I don't think a small thing has
absolutely
happened.
worth it. But I think the idea that there is a sea change
Oh
in
my
how
God.
political violence works, which it would be, is worth being skeptical of. Well, we don't have, I think, significant info beyond, sure, a couple lefty things that might be associated, also deeply weird, ironic Groyper bullshit.
There has been a change, and it would. I think we can't work from an assumption that there is a constant variable happening here at all.
What's the change?
Especially with the because of all of these because of all what's happening right now politically. We are not in a moment of just individual randomness. We can see that since Trump got elected, especially the second time, a massive increase in political violence, period. We can see political targeting. We can see a overthrow of the United States government. This is a very, very
On the
particular
right,
moment.
yes.
And the idea that we're working with any sort of constant here doesn't is not going to do us any good.
But I think it's, but again, if Hodgkinson is the last time that someone with outwardly leftist motives did this, it was the first Trump election, which gives us more than 8 years. And in that time, I think, sure, things have changed, things have set up. And Hodgkinson was that, and it was a worthwhile thing. And I think there was a conversation at the time that people were like, what the fuck? Because he was posting shit that was crazy. He was like saying things like the Republicans were the Taliban and all that, and that Trump was a traitor and he was a fucking hardcore patriot and was like nuts. He was on Facebook. He was nuts, but he was lefty. I'm like, well, I'll own that. And there was a real conversation around that. Say what?
Don't own anything.
Sorry, what? I missed that.
Did you say I'll own that?
No, I'll own that he's a Democrat. Because Republicans do this shit where they're like, oh, he's crazy, so therefore not a Republican. It's like, well, fuck. Like, he's crazy to do this shit. It doesn't.
Oh yeah, I was just saying offhand, don't own anything. It's like when people,
I'm owning
you
that
know.
he's a Democrat, not owning it like myself. I'm saying.
No,
like,
I know.
I'm happy to
It-
say that he was a Dem
What a stupid
or a lefty.
conversation.
Like, I'm happy to say that. Like,
Take
he
it
really was
facetiously.
that. But
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But I think since then, there was activity on the left shifted. Sanders took a very specific, because the guy was a real Sanders dude. Like he was a pretty significant Sanders dude, and
As opposed to all the fake Sanders
took it
dudes.
seriously, and it became like, hey, I'm rehandling stuff. It changed how he handled his presidential campaign and how he changed his language to still be radical but not make it like Sanders took it seriously, and I think it was a moment. But again, in 8 years, it hasn't happened a second time. And for this to be a second time, I think is, again, it's worthwhile moment if it's the case. But I require more to be like, oh, it's that, than just a couple of, again, if we're assuming that he did right on bullet casings and how that worked, I'm very interested in how that happened.
Yeah, right. I mean,
beyond
if we
that,
take, like I said before, we take everything at face. Can you hear me fine? I think sometimes I'm not
Yeah,
lighting
yeah,
up.
you're good. You haven't
Okay.
kicked me out of the room.
I'm not seeing it light up all the time over here. So, but yeah, obviously, I'm I'm prepared for even the for like, you remember the shit that they said about the messages in Discord?
Last I heard, it was a friend fucking with people.
Huh. Well, it seems like it. Because what they said was...
That's the last thing I heard.
What they said is that, and it was really confusing the first time I heard them mention it. And then when actually... And I still could be just confused on it as well, but it seems like what they were saying is they talked to a alleged roommate of him, and then that roommate said for some reason that the shooter guy sent him a joke and then showed the joke in the Discord, but the joke wasn't referenced, but it was a message in Discord that was containing a screenshot of messages that were from a different, not Discord. That were shared in that Discord, that the FBI agent then took a photo of that screen with his phone.
Can we at least agree
it was
that
like
the
that,
FBI is completely fucking broken?
They're fucked. Like, the thing is that if this is whatever happened here, whatever it is, it's possible that he gets away with it, you know? It's possible that he gets away with it.
I'm sending it. TMZ of all places are actually the reporters to follow on this, which is
no. But the thing is, I saw this, and the thing is that the thing that I was just reading this right before this is that the thing that TMZ is saying on here has to do with the fact that people misunderstood the thing, because what is being said here, this is what they said at this is what the FBI said. Yes. With the alleged
Robinson's roommate showed them Robinson had made a joke on Discord, then showed investigators the messages, which included Tyler stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. Discord seems to be saying these communications were not on its platform. They were rather on a note that Robinson had written off the site to his roommate, which is insane because, again, if I remember right, the FBI was like, straight up, these are Discord messages found that did this, but it's like...
No, the thing is that they said it, so they did say... What they said was there were messages shown inside of messages on Discord. The way that he said it was like so confusing because it's technically accurate to this, but it's very, very confusing.
Well, it's like, I think what it is, if I had, like, again, guessing, is like his roommate had a note that he took a photo of and sent to someone else, and so he showed the investigators the Discord message he sent to someone else that had the note in it, and they were like, oh, he sent this message on Discord. Like, but here's the thing, the language is so confusing, it's useless.
Well, they're saying that, I don't know where this idea that it was a written note, I don't know where that came from, because I also figured that it was like he had some sort of correspondence with somebody over a different platform. I would imagine something like Signal, and then there was a screenshot that was shared to someone else,
or a text message or something,
or yeah, something like that, right? Like, but a different platform, and then that was shared. That was like screenshotted and shared. But this, they're saying that this is a written note.
It's really, again, we're in a place. I mean, it's kind of what my video is about. We have no idea what anything means anymore. Like, we live in a time where podcasters are basically telling the world news that people are believing, and the FBI is not exactly intellectually above that. So I don't understand if we're ever going to know anything, honestly.
You want to really talk about statistics here?
Like,
wait, you want to really talk about statistics here?
Do you know how embarrassing
what do you think
it should be for them?
What do you think the odds are that AI told them to do it? You want to talk about statistics? You want to talk about political violence and okay, what do you think the odds are that AI told them to do it?
I would lean
increasingly likely.
Being, I've gone pretty deep into thanks to a handful of people who know about this stuff, and they sent me over to it. Is the 764, and don't Google this if you don't want to know, because it's a rabbit hole you cannot stop going. But there is basically like there's a lot of really terrifying shit. I'll send you the article on it.
Wait, 764 magazine? Wait, am I confusing that with something?
I'm sending this to you.
I'm confused. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah, bad stuff.
Yep. No, I know.
But these groups and these places that this takes place have been associated with 5 of the last 6 mass school shooters.
Yeah, I mentioned this to you. I mentioned this to you when we talked about the yeah.
And I didn't really internalize it, and someone else mentioned it to me because apparently I should know what this was, and then they sent me this, and I don't like knowing this. I think this is something I really could have done without having in my brain, to be perfectly frank.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't say that about a lot, but this is the reason people believe in evil.
Yeah. The video for that the church
it's really not
shooter
good.
thing is like, yeah.
It's terrifying to me. And it is, but like we're at a point now where, again, I have my thought about the reporter, and he'll come out, or someone will come out. There's something will leak, whatever. But I think there's a very good chance that, like, literally this never goes anywhere. And as odd as that is, like, this FBI and this DOJ, they're not going to be able to prosecute anything. They're incompetent.
That's so okay. So you had mentioned something at one point that I wanted to mention this, but you were kind of going quick and adding a lot of points together. It's kind of a
sorry,
but
I talk quick. You're aware of this. I'm sorry.
There's this.
He doesn't talk that quick, in my opinion.
There's this.
I love you too, my friend.
There's this idea that one thing that I was thinking about when it comes to the things that Trump was saying, that Fox News was saying, that all of these different people were saying in the media, and because they went very, very hard, very, very quickly, right?
Yes, they did.
And there's a couple different angles that I was thinking about. One, legally. If they were to keep doing that, I don't think that it's sustainable for them, and I don't think that the right is about it in the way that they want to pretend that they are. And if that's found out too quickly, then you end up in a situation where, and I think that we need to be doing this. I don't know why we're not seeing it, but all of these people should be deplatformed, and it shouldn't be difficult to do it. I
think it's going to be a lot harder to deplat. I saw.
I'm not talking about Fox News, but like, yeah, Asmongold, etc.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, did you see Brian Kilmeade on Fox today? I'm going to send you this video because I don't think there's another way to have this conversation except I'm going to say what I'm going to say.
Hey there, how is it going? What are you watching? I'm watching Kid Not Kin. And also, are you new to this channel?
Yeah.
Also, I'm playing Expedition 33. I'm watching a debate between two people about the recent shooting and who the shooter might be. Left wing, right wing.
Like, what?
Oh yeah, and Trump was saying, I don't know if you watched the conversation with Trump.
The Trump thing.
That's
crazy.
The China thing.
We've talked once recently. Subscribed. Oh, thank you.
One of the worst things I've ever heard.
Sorry, I just
the China thing.
My brain is mush sometimes.
This is not the China thing.
No, I know.
It seems like I have gained a viewer.
That's the one that you were saying that you saw.
Thank you very much.
Okay, but yeah, really quickly.
And then I saw also the.
Have I mentioned that I'm trying to grow from a micro streamer to a small streamer?
Was crazy.
In my opinion, we just cannot know.
Next level abhorrent in a way that I mentally can't actually handle.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this in like 20 seconds. But the
like we just cannot know.
The idea that I was getting at. One thing that I was thinking is that there's that question of why is there a noticeable shift in the rhetoric, and I think that there's a worry that it might jeopardize the case. And then two, or specifically,
I don't think we can just know.
Fox probably told
there's not enough information for us to make a determination.
I
don't even know, to be honest. On Twitch, I have no clue how to get more people to watch me on Twitch. I have no clue how to attract more people. I guess all I can do is ask you to recommend me to others, if you like what I do.
Be ready to go.
That's the only thing that I can actually do
that
on Twitch.
There was a worry that is not going to work. And if you do that and it doesn't work, then it sort of
If you like my content, recommend me.
fuck yourself over
That's
pretty
all
hard in a
the
lot of
only thing
different
that I
ways.
can do, I
And
guess,
if people were to find out that
to
happened,
encourage you to do that.
realize that happened, then it's. I think what they're doing is I think they're softening
Dylan
the rhetoric
Burns?
because they went way too hard, way too quickly. And that it was
Maybe.
obviously going to be causing problems. That's my theory.
What did he
Slight
say?
different read on it.
that he would?
Because I think, well, they went hard in terms of how we view it. I think they didn't
Oh
see
my
a
gosh.
drastic difference. They didn't understand first
I
off,
died again.
really the investment that
No,
most
okay.
of their base had in Charlie Kirk as a person. These are people who genuinely, I think, across the board, not only don't care about Kirk, they don't care about any of these people.
Oh, Kirk
Like,
was
they-
working for
they're
Trump,
not-
like
Just
during the campaign
imagining.
and everything. He was a part of the campaign.
I know he mentioned me recently.
Right, but Trump doesn't, these people don't care about each other.
He mentioned
These
me
aren't
recently when he
these are
reacted
not
to an
small-
Asmongold
yeah, they
video.
don't care. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they don't care.
I think that's
But,
enough
like,
of an
Charlie Kirk's
endorsement.
wife, take her as an example.
Technically
She is
speaking.
a true believer, and people around Kirk, like how you're seeing on TikTok, how people have been coming out saying, "I don't care who actually did it. I'm coming after you leftists, and I'll."
He's
find
aware
you
of my
with
work,
dyed
I think,
hair and your ear
around
pierced."
the
Like,
children.
seriously, someone said, I was like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, they're saying they're gonna because they've been pumped and bred, and this is what we saw with the right-wing extremism in the 90s, 2000s, 2010s. This is how this works: is you fill your base with this shit, and they build over time, and then you lose control. And what happens when you lose control is this: they knew this was a big deal. They wanted to put on a strong show, but I don't think they saw themselves as speaking strongly. Ha ha ha! We finally got the left. I think they saw it as speaking strongly from a position of power.
Yeah.
And as that shifted, and as they realized they actually don't have stuff.
There
to
you go,
really
I'm
talk
doing
about because
this.
There's not a lot of there. Whatever the reason may be.
I'm learning this
Whatever
fight.
That is. It's too late.
Yes, I don't think we can talk statistic, we can speculate, but we just cannot definitely say
talk about Charlie Kirk.
what
She
the
came out and explicitly
we cannot just
said
definitely
they need
speak
to
of
get all
what the
people
political opinions
who
of the shooter
plotted to kill
are.
Charlie. The people who plotted. Not saying the people who pushed the shooter or inspired plotted. That there is a multi-person.
You know?
plot
You know
to
what I
have
mean?
done This. And as far as I know, we've not seen any.
It's just all speculation.
Yeah,
Before we get
I
more
don't know anything
information.
about her. If she's part of the
She's a
like,
lunatic.
if she's part of
Oh,
the,
she's a
she's probably
hard-right
talking about Israel
Christian
then.
lunatic.
She's probably.
I'm
talking
not
about
a big
Israel
fan of placing too much stock on speculation.
Maybe.
Again,
then.
it's
Like
a
the
fun
conspiracies
little
and shit that were going around.
intellectual
I
exercise, but
wonder
that's
if
all
she
that
bought
it
into
is.
those conspiracies that were going around.
You can pat yourself on the back later when information comes out and it turns out
the thing is
that you're
they're
correct,
zealots.
but
Yeah.
And
there's
some of these
not much
people
value in
aren't
it
zealots, they're
beyond that.
Opportunists. And
I think some of them are zealots, and I think that's the problem.
I think people are too quick to
fair. Actually, I'm overstating. You're right. But I'm more
claim
stating,
they
like,
know.
Trump last night at the Yankees game, dancing his fucking stupid little dance, unaware of why that would be funny or weird or
Oh my
fucked up
gosh.
for people to see that night. I think speaks volumes. Because he just doesn't give a shit. Asked about Charlie Kirk, he's like, "Well, look at these trucks." Like
Yeah,
The
he doesn't
potholes
care.
or whatever. Yeah, Fox News.
Trump doesn't care
explicitly
about
tried to give him a
anything.
layup for doing the thing. They
Other than
tried
the
to
bottom
get him
line.
to encourage violence, and he didn't. It's not that he wouldn't have, right?
he
but
just doesn't
he
care.
just did. He just was more interested in that moment of talking about himself, right?
Of course, he
Yeah,
always is.
can't- He doesn't have the capacity in him to care. It's not that he hated Charlie or anything, but like he's just like, oh yeah, that's fine. That's
He's
his. Oh,
disinterested,
I
yeah.
think he actually said, "I'm doing great" or "I'm doing really
Yeah,
well."
he was doing
And
very
that's
well
what I
or
was
something
doing
like
the way
that,
to Charlie.
yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah,
He did say something like, "I'm
It's
doing very
fucking
well,"
not
yeah.
care.
And it's like it's like the statement that he put out. I don't think he wrote that. I think somebody said, "Now is the time. You have to do it. You have to
Well,
read
like
this
I
now."
showed in my video, he certainly didn't say that speech in one sitting.
Right.
Whether or not he deepfaked the entire thing and it's all a lie is a different beast. But he certainly didn't say it in one sitting. So
Yeah.
this
Well,
whole
it
thing
could have
that's
been
happening-
the lighting change in the background. Could have been a cloud.
Well,
It's hard to
and
say
there are
the amount of
more-
time.
More serious things. As
The-
much
the-
as
yes,
we are
it definitely
turmoil
happened
alive,
over a period of time. No.
as much as we are terminally online and we are feeling, and I'm seeing the TikTok angry right wingers who are it's psychotic. The reality is there's a lot more important stuff in the world, especially economically and grift wise, and Charlie Kirk just doesn't measure. He just doesn't. They've got a billion other things to deal with, and Charlie Kirk probably didn't even measure in the long run. He just helped him get in power. He was a stepping stone. And so the null, like that thing that pushed them.
There was no long-term investment or whatever into him. He was just, they just used him for a bit, and then they see him as a resource that was there. And then he got Chucky got cheesed, and then it's like, okay, now we can drag his dead body around and try and turn him into like a martyr. We can put statues of him up or whatever.
Let's just say, let's even say, I would even go so far as to say maybe the most likely is that this kid isn't really even political. He's more of just an online shithead.
That's possible.
Let's just say that he's not even political. Whatever it is, he's not an extreme leftist who's like screaming about stuff. Maybe he's on the left, sure, but he's not like, this isn't the kind of person they can make hay with.
Luigi.
This is not a Luigi.
No.
Not a Luigi.
Did you look into Luigi is the example that I'm using right here, because the moment that you look into Luigi, it doesn't even seem like he knows that much about.
He doesn't know that much.
He doesn't know fuck all about anything. He was an Elon Musk fan. He was he liked the he was very politically just stupid. He's a very politically stupid person.
What? Now that I've said that, you've made a point. I would put him in leftist because to me, I don't even give a shit about like the literal politics of the person. Is the reason that they're doing it in order to effectively emancipate or fight the power structure. And I think Luigi was doing that, however misguided or weird it may have been. He had some I read his manifesto. He's not super informed, not the brightest guy, but like it's not like he was doing it because the guy was a Jew or something like that. Like there's particular hallmarks of these things. So yeah, you know what? Luigi would be the most recent. That's probably a political assassination. You know what? I should correct myself.
But it's a political
because he's not really.
We could say that it's on the left. We could say that the action was on the left, but the thing is that it sits somewhere in this ambiguous space. I would say the action is, would be described as something that is, it was in the interest of working people that are being exploited or whatever, right? But it was sort of ideologically so naive, and coming from a position that was largely informed by right-wing, even libertarian
maybe
stuff. Like, it's almost like it's not like you can't say that it's like not political. Fair. You can't say that it's not ideological. But
it specifically was like, again, his writing specifically said that this company's too powerful. They're destroying lives. Like it's an act that was not directed at the guy, but at the company and at the structure. To me, that's overtly political.
Yeah, well, right. Like, well, this is the difference between, and I can tell that people get annoyed when we do this, when we, on the one hand, we talk about the left or whatever as an action and then as an identity or cultural group or whatever. Weave in between.
I thought I had it. I thought I had it handled.
But
I could have won this fight.
I think Luigi's an example of something which I think is way more common that isn't being addressed when we talk about the political.
Trump cares about Trump. Yeah, he does care about only
with
Trump.
Crooks is that because I wouldn't say that Crooks is on the right, and I wouldn't say that he's on the left either, and I don't even think that the action itself would be as there's really nothing to go off of, and it seems like there's so much contradiction that maybe the politics is not the thing that we're looking at here.
Act.
Right.
Like that's how I tend to me, he's neutral until I see anything. It's a political act, but I have no idea.
No, yeah. But what I'm saying is that, like, when we're talking about the motivations of someone making a political act, one thing that I think is confusing is that sometimes, sometimes it gets difficult to, or impossible to pin. Right. It's sort of impossible to pin it, where it's like. Luigi is the best example. It's that, and the reason why so many people could claim him on the left or on the right or whatever. And the moment you look into because he has, you can see all of his like reviews for different books that he's read, and you can go look at them.
He's a wacky one.
he's just a moron. He's just a classic moron. He's just a classic moron.
Yes.
Classic moron.
He's a classic moron who happened to, and there is politics happening here. And
What is a non-classic moron?
That I would even say the politics that are happening in regards to the action they did, you could say is left wing. Wouldn't make sense to call him left wing. You could say the action is left wing, but you could even say that it might be fair to mark it down as left wing of political violence.
Well, I think the critique you're getting at is where again we're probably going to end up, which is where I know we do agree, which is like as Bongan is like, can anti-fascism, Antifa exist on the right? The answer is no. There's a difference between right and reactionary, and this is where we start getting into that. The reality is there isn't such a thing as a singular political direction, that it's an investment in a couple different places. It's your understanding, in your conscious space about how you exist socially, but also there is your investment in your unconscious impulses and how you see and where you're at in the system, and reactionary or revolutionary, and then left or right politically. And so you can be a reactionary leftist or a revolutionary right-winger, which is more rare, but these things exist. And so you can have Antifa that's reactionary, but you can't have Antifa that is fascist, because it's literally anti-fascist. So these things put us in a spot where, again, I think someone like Luigi would be someone who is, I think, revolutionary right wing. You could even say, because I think he tended towards that direction. You could say he's
like if you a conservative in a right winger in like a union, right, fighting for
a right winger who wants change. Like I think a lot of people who voted for Trump, for example, it was a
maybe did so under what would be called left wing intentions, maybe.
Well, I tend to ascribe it as the normative position. So that's why I even said Luigi, because it's against power to me is like the normative.
Yeah,
position.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Yeah.
Against power is
what a long conversation this is.
The normative, but the larger discussion is, I think, and it's why I think that you see, and there's right wingers. This is the case of the IRA, for example, spent a lot of time in the Troubles, doing bombings and things in places that they would explicitly call ahead and be like, "Hello, how are you doing? Bombing coming this afternoon. You should probably get everyone." And that thing would then put that type of thing is like, is that leftist? No, but it is not. It's not right wing, but it's not reaction. Like, it's a really weird thing. I say the Troubles like that because I think it's the funniest thing that the UK calls a series of times where they had massive bombings and strife. The Troubles. It's the most British way to call an era that has ever existed.
You didn't notice that he was bigoted against the British after the debate from last night?
Oh no, I find the British to be hilarious. But it'd be like if I were to say, "Oh yes,
that guy was funny, wasn't he?
The oopsies, the oopsie times." You know, that time with the Native Americans, all those things we did, the baddie times. It's like, it's just such a fucking childish way to talk. I love it. The Troubles.
So the I guess like with that sort of a context, right?
Yeah.
I think even at the end of the day, I don't want to say it like that. I want to say it like, I think there is a high possibility that, and this is very, actually, I think that there's a possibility that there is a sort of, even a normative position. I can't believe that you said that the moment that I'm about to say this. Now that means something. A point of like overlap between the lefty and the Groyper position, where it's like it's so meme pilled, and that there's still a sort of
right,
this hatred of.
I'll agree with this.
What like a hatred of. I'm imagining a theoretical situation where you have somebody who is sort of, waving through the cultural political landscape on the internet, which is largely guided by the things that are signified by the memes, the things that are funny, and the things that are funny is sort of guiding this person along. And not only are the memes sort of getting this person along, but there actually are some deep political feelings that are had, feelings of rage and hatred and stuff like that. And even in a situation where like there's hatred for Charlie Kirk, not as being not far enough to the right, not as being having the exact political prescription as me or something that I might say or whatever. But even and the thing is even if he had a sort of, I would say, a normal hatred of
hatred
of
what
Charlie
isn't
Kirk, right? And that everything else in the background is basically just like waving through the memes.
I like this.
And that the reason
normal
for
hatred as opposed to the abnormal
Kirk,
hatred,
where it was like, are you shooting him because of a known hatred, a known resentment? Are you doing it because of a historic
what the
reason?
hell is
Are
the
you doing it
normal
because,
hatred and abnormal hatred?
whatever it is, you think that he is
My
bad
goodness.
for the
Normal hatred.
Like, what is that action to you, right? What is that action to you?
Right.
And as far as anything else surrounding it, doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter.
Hold on, I'll respond to you in a moment.
There's things that you can.
Yeah,
take it too
the
literally, but,
conversation can be summarized as who knows. Yeah, it can. It's just,
it's not a new thing.
I mean,
The
it's a
reaction
bit
to
interesting,
extreme
but
right,
it's
the
just
hardest
speculation.
right forces in almost every position and time for the last.
Maybe normal hatred is when you hate
years
something harmful, maybe,
necessarily
but
take
it's still.
medically from the left.
You watched
and
Dylan
always
Burns.
take
What
it
was
from the
Dylan
left
Burns'
and utilize
take
them
on this?
First as slight irony. Or
What did he
as
say? What
outright
did he
ways to
say?
Recruit people to their cause, and they always take that. And it's the Nazis did this. The right wing in the U.S. did this. The Klan did this.
Skinheads, yeah.
This is
On and
like
on
the
and on.
nature of the beast. Is the left utilizes, the right copies.
I think I'm gonna win this fight.
Yeah.
If I don't mess up.
Yeah, of course.
Very bad.
So this is, I think, the interesting thing here, and it's why, again, I'm not saying it can't be a fucking lefty. Absolutely, it's possible.
Everything's possible, but it's all speculation at this point.
And the setup underneath this, I think, that is worth talking about.
I'm subscribing, but I rarely catch his stream because of time. He really streams when it's night in Ukraine. Ah, yeah, you're right. But he also uploads segments, VODs. You should give some love to his VODs.
And in my experience,
And I highly recommend.
this may change.
This is a weird chill moment, but I highly recommend donating to him because embeds are very expensive, as from what I know. And those embeds with the military are
I wish I
a
could
lot of
take
good
that as a
work.
constant because
So-
I don't think that it is.
I don't know. I just highly recommend.
I'm unaware of actions on the left that
If
has
you
this
have any
weird
spare
joke
income,
mimetic.
that is.
If we're switching,
Well,
to that,
this is basically just a this is a
Which it would be
vibe, a
so
future telling
fascinating.
vibe. Is I think that I think the mimetic language in the political context is something that is moving quicker than I think that
Well,
you
and
would
this is
expect
where
to see that.
I'm
kind
saying
of a thing.
if you're right, it's fascinating. I don't think you're right, but if you are right, then it's actually a genuinely interesting.
It's
thing
weird for
see
me
that
to not chill for myself,
what
but
we
for
might call the
other
alt-left.
streamers, but you know, it is what it
You're
is.
gonna, like,
If I
juxtapose
believe
there
that
is
somebody
a,
does good work, then,
lefty
you know.
version of that is irony pilled and like J-reg shit and all of that stuff. That's like the ironic distance is part of their violent tendencies. If that's the case, we're in a really weird place because that puts us far closer to what happened in Nazi Germany and how the Nazis rose to power than I am comfortable with in any capacity.
That is
Because
true.
That is the next step. If that happens, it means that we're there.
Well,
because
that's what I think. That's what I think is happening. Yeah. So, that's what I think this is, and I don't think that
I won.
Which is
I
fine.
don't think it's
And
gonna
again,
stop.
You have witnessed me winning.
It's gonna get-
August, I know August, and August, like, it's a third of people I know. Look, if it's people you know who make these comments and make the jokes, taking action with these things is not the same thing, and it is an entire step that, again, we started to see with the brown shirts, and again with the communists inside of Germany, the actually early Nazi realm, and they began joining forces during that period because, again, at some point, irony isn't irony, and it just becomes the thing. And it went badly in the end. But I think that step is one that is something to be very aware of, and I think skeptical of existing until we know it's happening.
I think there's also a distance to some Knocking Foob. I appreciate the sub. Thank you for that. I think there's also
Be right back.
A distance, and I think a sniper rifle is probably a really apt.
I'll be right back. I have to go to the toilet. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. In fact, invite your friends, colleagues, and stuff like that. I'm back. I have returned.
A sort of example of that distance for it as well. I think the distance is actually really important or interesting and important factor here to consider. And I don't, and not even in terms of like just in terms of like the thing that I'm suggesting is happening. Is that the violence is something which necessarily exists through a distance, which is why the people on the right, when they're saying that that they're going to rise up and they're going to fight people on the left and they're going to make it known, or none of the people saying that are the people that are going to do that. All of those people are asking for other people to do it for them because they haven't been to war. These people are not, and even if they have, they did it in such a way that they weren't. We are not a post-war society, and a lot of these people are not about it like that. that these people, some of these people saying these things are just old fucking people, or like teenagers, or people that are just incredibly sheltered. They live in a constructed fantasy world, that they're not like that, and the people that are they're more like empty mass shootings where like there's nothing. But the thing is I think that the
war,
distance that's involved in the political violence, that people are asking for distance, they're asking for people to fulfill a particular role with that distance, and I don't think that it's going to be surprising that it's that a lot of these things are going to be things like sniper rifles with with fucking maybe memes and stuff nodding to the people that might even be influential behind it. You sort of, I guess, the 764
I mean, we're not even
reference
talking about,
as well,
as far as I know, we're not even talking about sniper. I was talking about like Remingtons, like not even a special thing as far as I'm aware.
But it's just, like I said, it's just an example. It's just that idea of distance.
Like, that I think I'm trying to steel man your point, as awkward as it may sound, because it is the most boring kind of gun that they just have. Like, it's not like the political violence you're talking about.
Boring gun?
People can become closer to, and that is almost accident. Like, they step into that, and it is one more step. Yeah, a sniper rifle is like 10 steps. Like, that's one of the things when people are talking about this being a pro, for example. That idea removes it from being something that people step into. It puts it in professional territory versus raid shooter or school shooter territory, which is, one step and a little bit of planning for a lot of people. And I think if it is one step and we're talking about that, it is significantly scarier, to be frank, that we're in that position. I mean,
people are very highly over.
This turns out to be a groiper. I'm not happy that it's a groiper. I'm not happy this happened at all. I am not one of those people who's like been making jokes about Kirk or other people. Like, that's not my thing. I don't believe in any of this. I think it's all awful. But like, neither one's good. Neither one is. Both are like not happy for me. They mean bad in different ways, I think would be the way I'd phrase it.
Yeah. Nothing good comes of this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not me like, I don't want it to be on my side. I don't think it's mine. It's like if it's left side, if it's a lefty, there's a serious change that's happening in this country that scares the living fuck out of me. If it's not a lefty, there is shit happening in this country that is seriously scaring me.
Yeah.
It's like if that makes sense, like that's where I'm at, because the studies of it, and I did a deep dive for the last 2 years on like the last few years of what you might call free press and things inside of Germany, and how it shifted, and how conversations changed, and how the way people talked about things. And again, inside of the Nazi party, they openly laughed about calling Germany a proletarian nation. Like, they used Marx's words, and they laughed about it internally. Yeah. And then publicly, they talked about it, and it attracted communists eventually. And that ironic distance they used internally as jokes, they ended up turning into positive force. And that is actually the moment when we all need to run and hide somewhere. Like, when that happens, when that ironic distance where they're laughing about it actually becomes a way that, oh, I'm also on the left. I'm also someone who cares about these things. Well, why don't you join me, buddy? That's it. We're in Nazi territory, like Nazi Germany territory, not having Nazis, but like, that's it. We've united the tail ends, the circle's complete, and we all need to run far away.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's sort of, similar to what I'm getting at. But the thing that I'm also getting at is that the identities, or the what we would call on the left or the right, is so void of. It's like you have a meaningless political position that just works as like a cultural signifier. Then with the customs and the values in particular ways, and they are very particular and weird. But like any sort of like the average lefty that you would see today, right, doesn't know what the fuck. They don't know anything about
Yeah, like, this is why we argue about whether or not there's even a left. Like,
yeah,
it's
right.
embarrassing
But
for
it's
human
specifically because it's like this consumer thing, right? Like you pick an identity and then you wear it on your shirt, and then you join a club or like a cult, like a group of people on the
A
internet,
cult.
and then you share pictures with each other to signify your agreements and values and stuff like that, and you laugh, and then that's it. And the difference between
Oh
like
boy.
each one isn't meaningfully as different as people
Yeah.
might make it out to be. Like they're not really.
No, it's one of those things that, again, it's a lot of it's why I spend so much time thinking about the signifiers of this. But that is all it is. The content is mostly meaningless at this point for most people. Who's on what side is kind of a meaningless garbage thing, to be frank. To me, the conversation should be about what policies we're doing, how are we going to change things.
Yeah, that's fair.
Not what we tend to talk about. So it is a lot of team sports, and again,
And
that we have so many people ready to cheer murder. It's
That's
the
not
old
good.
line is that the first thing a despotic leader does is convince you that the enemy is the devil, because if they do that, then anything is permissible. And
yeah.
If we are in that position where we are going to be cheering on, and I'm not saying you have to mourn anything. Like, this is not about mourning.
Yeah, I will not be mourning Charlie Kirk, but
the
still.
active violence of things should never be cheered.
I don't think
good
that
or
that's
bad.
I don't think that's the thing that's happening. I think what you have is, I think a lot of the people that are
I think a lot of
joking
people
about
are
it.
memeing on death.
Well, yes, yeah, they are memeing on death. But I don't think.
I don't
that
think
it's
wearing a crab
I
suit
think
is
the reason why there's memes on death is to cover up a deep discomfort. I was talking about this yesterday on stream. Is that like, I think there's a lot of like, sort of performative joking happening because of the fear of what could happen, and the context of viewing everything as this sort of back and forth culture war type thing. But that the idea, the humor of it, I think for a lot of people is largely rooted in a fear of what's going to happen and how it's going to be used against them. And so there's almost this like this defensive joking happening. As far as like if people saw that and then laughed
Defensive
or felt
joking
good after watching the video, I think that is not real at all. And I think most people that are memeing about it, probably didn't see the video. But also, like, I think a lot of the memeing that is happening is not one out of the particular isolated view of the person, but more so out of an abstract fear of the context within this, I guess, this cultural battle.
This is not for you to show on stream. I'm just sending you a tweet I had to save that I could not believe existed. The account got banned over it, so you can't find it. But it's something.
What the fuck am I looking at? Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Is that what? What's
Yep. Yep.
How did they do that? Wait.
Well,
They
it's 3D
printed it?
printed and
Oh
then
my-
painted.
I'm sorry. I'm very stupid. I'm very, very stupid.
And they made a box.
I thought this
with
was
it
way
for
bigger than it
Bandai.
was. Okay.
No, I'm as far as I'm concerned, that's a decent size.
It's a
But
decent
they're
size.
trying
I
to
thought it was way
make,
bigger.
The joke is a model kit from Bandai.
What the heck? Yeah, it's a
You
it's
cannot
a.
show this on screen. You can say
I'm
what
not
it is.
showing it. I'm not gonna show this. Yeah, it's a 3D. It's a 3D printed model of when Charlie got shot.
That is so weird.
As like the little thing that you can have like on your desk, like a little ornament thing. But it's 3D printed, just replica of him shot.
And it's like a
That
foot
is-
tall,
That is so weird.
like 10 inches.
It's
at least.
pretty. It's a decent size. Yeah.
That
It's like-
is.
It's probably. It's like the size of. It's like the size of this. Probably is the size of this drink.
Yeah. And they made a fake box for it. And it is the active moment, and there is replica blood. It's one of the darkest things I've seen, and that's given the last 24 hours. That's a lot. But also notice the username, not a lefty. Just saying.
Yeah, very much not.
Don't even try it. Yeah, it's 88. So.
Yep.
Like this is what X is now, as far as I'm concerned. But it's like.
I need to figure out
level of discourse, man.
I need to figure out what Sulfur was referencing.
Discourse.
There's if I'm remembering this correctly. Oh, Sulfur's here. Sulfur referenced the percentage, the range percentage of the amount of bot accounts that were sharing the presidential address in relation to to him being killed.
Okay.
And what was the number? It was like the Queen's paper. Yeah, do you remember the percentage for that? Because usually I think for the larger posts it's around, I think, 30% or something. And this one was at least like 50%.
No, I won't let them touch
this.
our people, our
You did?
leaders. Charlie Kirk today,
It
Vance
ruined
tomorrow.
my day.
Yeah, but this one is I would imagine a clip of someone who's been trying to push it to say this stuff, right?
Yeah, but I think if you're
It's a
able to
reproduction
push it
of
to
the.
say
It's
certain
it's
things,
yeah.
the lingerie weird sex bot that you push to say these things. I think that
No,
to
that
me
itself is, yeah, it's-
where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, but people were sharing it around. I clarify that because people were sharing it around as if it was like immediately programmed to do
Oh no,
this.
yeah, no,
right?
no.
Yeah.
Of course it's not. But I mean, for me, it's. I mean, the next thing it probably asked for was, "Are you a minor and can I see nudes?" So
Yeah.
I have a much different standard.
I have a collection that I'm working on. Yeah.
And then I am going to send you this one because this is my favorite video of the day from TikTok. If you haven't seen it,
A bullet fired
is
at
a guy
Charlie
being a
Kirk.
tough guy about Chucky,
Oh my god.
and then
Oh, I love
trying
tough
to
guys.
cry and failing, and it's pretty fantastic.
All right. Give me a second for this.
Make sure it's stream safe, yeah, but I think it is.
Is a bullet fired at all of us. There will be no mercy, no diplomacy, and no
Jesus.
surrender.
Of course.
We are under attack and we must defend ourselves. It is time for justice.
Oh my
and
God.
War has now been declared.
Oh my god.
Bullet
Dude.
fired at Charlie Kirk is a bullet.
I thought you'd enjoy it.
That's that's a
It's
work of
pretty
art.
great,
That's
right?
a work of art.
It's
That is
I think he's
fucking
magic.
hilarious.
Like his attempt to cry in the middle.
America
too,
needs to
like
be
the best
invaded, I
part.
swear
Like,
to
the whole
God.
thing is
Yeah, he
amazing.
sounds like a yeah.
Jason Statham on Thorazine.
Yeah.
But like that middle part where he's like, "I'm gonna cry," and he can't. He can't even. Like he didn't even show an emotion. Like all he showed was like.
Yeah, it's like he was
strong
trying to make the noises of it. Like, did you see the
He's
the
great.
vigil?
I've
Did you
been
see the
watching a
vigil
bunch
from
of these
yesterday?
guys Today, I've been surfing TikTok.
Not today,
Been surfing
yesterday.
TikTok. It's fantastic.
Did you see the vigil stuff?
They have one
It's
in,
not
Vancouver.
fantastic, by the way.
No, you saw the the flight.
In Vancouver.
No, not in Vancouver. It was there's some I forget exactly
Apparently,
where
like,
was this
7
in.
People showed up in Vancouver. Like they did this big blast. And apparently, like 7 people showed up. Like it was really weird.
That's so funny. I forget the one that I forget where it was. The one that we were watching yesterday, but there's there's this example that I thought was hilarious. Someone had shared it to me, and it was a fight that was happening, and they sent it to me, and they were like, they sort of gestured that it was something that was worrying them, that like this increase in violence, and then I looked at it. And at first, you see like this crowd of people that are just that you see huge commotion. There's this woman who's screeching like a fucking banshee, like bloody murder. And then you're like, oh my gosh, right? And then you look at another angle, or you look at it a little bit closer, and what you find is there was a guy on a bike. He was riding by, and he said like fuck Charlie Kirk or whatever at the vigil. Someone pushed him off his bike, right? And then what happened was you had a bunch of men taking turns pretending to hit him effectively. Like,
really?
Yeah, where like half of the people are like, you know, holding this other guy back, and then another person is like, you know, like wailing on him. It looks like it at first, and then you realize that like there's like 3 people that ever actually make contact with him, physically. That everyone else is kind of like pretending to fight, you know, and everyone's like recording it, and like it's like this big thing, and you see the guy get up, and he's just had what looks like from afar 10 fully grown men just wailing on him, beating the shit out of him, right? He's completely fine. And then he walks to the corner, and then he keeps on, you know, saying fuck Charlie Kirk, and they're not doing anything, and all these people are yelling all sorts of shit, and it was like, this is what it is. Is that it's all fucking a roleplay fantasy thing for these people on the right. It's like a roleplay fantasy thing that they're all trying to convince each other that like they're all in something that is real and actually happening, but it's not.
I don't think they're trying to convince each other. I think they exist in a place where whatever they're doing, it's about
or sort
themselves. And I think we're witnessing a grand psychotic break in a way that has never existed.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, that's a that's a really good way to put it.
It's an individualized collective psychotic break.
Yeah.
And it's look, I'm just because
Americans are easy to break psychologically.
Enjoy a few of these.
It sounds mean to say, but
this last one, there you go. There's a couple things you can enjoy.
Jesus Christ.
All of them should be safe. One of those is genuinely mentally unhinged. Actually, you know what? All 3 are really mentally unhinged, but they're all safe, I believe, for stream.
Okay.
But their right-wing TikTok is one of the most insane things I've ever experienced over the last 2 days. And it was weird like a month ago. Like it was like weird dumb a month ago. Now it's the one dude I sent you. If you want to watch that just real quick, their play acting is like the LARP level is off the charts.
Which one? The first one, the black and white dude?
The first one. You know what? In a row, watch and enjoy all of them.
Okay.
But the first one, the black and white one, is he's magic.
R.I.P. Charlie. This is the turning point.
That's it. They're all this.
Dog, did he lick his lip? Did he just... Wait.
That's... Charlie is the turning.
it's so...
Like, it's like... I don't know.
This is so weird.
You can watch that, by the way. It's insane.
I have to learn
this
to
is all over the place.
like this again.
Yeah, no, enjoy. I turned your stream on because I want to watch your reaction to this stuff, because this is like...
What is there to enjoy?
In ways that I don't
Jesus.
normally handle.
I kind of want them to.
I will say,
I kind of want them to break
AI.
a little bit. It's a little bit fucked up. You know, like it's like they will like hurt people, but like part of me is like,
I know. Trust me. I have the instinct too.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to resist it, but I have the same exact instinct.
I'm playing.
Come, Jesus, come. Let today be the day. Sometimes I fall
I gotta see this. I love the first part where you see him
to
like
my knees and pray.
run in.
The running.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny.
Come, Jesus, come.
Oh my gosh. All right, last
The
one.
third is definitely safe for stream. Also, maybe worst mentally ill, maybe one of the more disgusting human beings who's ever lived. But
Yeah.
We are going to do that under President Trump's leadership. I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy charge, conspiracy against the United States, insurrection. But we are going to do what it takes to dismantle the organizations and the entities that are fomenting riots, that are doxing, that are trying to inspire terrorism, and that are committing acts of wanton violence. It has to stop. And my message is to all of the domestic terrorists in this country spreading this evil hate. You want us to live in fear? We will not live in fear, but you will live in exile. Because the power of law enforcement under President Trump's leadership will be used to find you, will be used to take away your money, take away your power, and if you've broken the law, to take away your freedom, Sean.
His little face at the end.
Under President Trump's leadership, I don't care how. It could be a RICO charge, a conspiracy
he's really proud
charge.
of himself.
He
I
is,
was a
dude.
big boy
It
today.
reminds me. I can't not see
I was
the
a big boy. Maybe my wife will let me watch.
Yeah, dude. It's like the. You
What?
remember when he first hooked up with her? You remember that? And he went.
God.
When he first hooked up with his wife, or he first like got married, and he had a segment on Fox News.
When he first hooked up, when he first got married to
Katie.
Elon's wife.
Yeah, Elon's wife. Yeah. And did you see the segment where it was a segment clearly devoted to, pre-planned to, announce to the Fox News audience that he's married. I think just to make him feel good, and then
just
like
to make him feel like a man.
yeah, just to make him feel like a man and make him feel
Genuinely
proud.
fucking weird. It was surreal.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I do. It was one of the weird. Like, there's a lot of weird things though.
Hey, Lucy,
it's
how
like-
you be?
Here's
Pretty
a,
okay.
Here's a text message that
I'm
we actually
doing
got
fights,
from
listening
an
to a
actual
conversation.
female in our audience that actually exists that says, "Oh no, he can't be taken," or something like that. And he's like, it's like, dude, look at this face, dude. Look at this fucking face. Dude. What do you mean?
That smile.
Okay, don't judge
So
people
proud.
based on their appearance. That's
The
not
ending
good.
smile is so good.
I can't believe they let him be the bad guy. Like, you know what I mean? I can't believe they let him do that.
I mean, I honestly, I'll also say, I think it's really insane that we live in a country that, well, I do think the comments that are made, like jokes about Charlie Kirk, are abhorrent. That we actually have finally become a country that is
Judging is fun,
policing
though.
that. Like,
Maybe.
school districts
I don't
are
know.
investigating
I don't like
students
judging.
over it. If you didn't know,
I'm not a
people are being fired
judgmental
left, right,
person.
and center. The president.
I mean, I am, but-
calling the DO, like we. All of this is just again.
I am a
they're
bit,
all
but, you know.
Nazis have been Nazis, and they don't care specifically about any of these things unless it gives them the power to do these things.
Yeah. I think the, you know, one thing that I think is that it's probably always been this kind of, you know, stupid and goofy, but like the internet just kind of makes it hard not to see it, you know? And that these are all pathetic, stupid, really pathetic and stupid people that are, you know, actually taking advantage of.
It's easy to
the
dismiss it like
situation
this,
and
but
these
it's
institutions,
dangerous.
and they
The danger is
probably
real,
do.
even if they pathetic sad
And
people.
it doesn't matter how stupid and funny it is. But you know, sometimes the funniness and the stupidity of it makes me think maybe they just fuck it up. Yeah, like Patel. Like, what if this shooter guy gets away with it though?
They are dumb.
What if
Like,
this shooter guy gets away with it though?
Oh,
Because
God.
Patel is
I missed the
such
timing.
a pathetic person, and
Well, so this is the
He's
question.
Indian.
Here's the question.
I think
a
it's
real
easy
question.
to
What
underestimate
if it
people
turns
by
out
just
the
saying.
Nazis were also all dumb? Like
yeah,
the
that's
thing.
what I'm
like,
saying.
I'm
Yeah,
with
that's
you.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
it's
saying. I'm like
either
ping
that
ponging
they're so
with
stupid
all the time.
that the Nazis were kind of clever, or that they were also completely fucking stupid. because we know they're all on uppers. Like that is one of the things we do know that they all share is they're all on amphetamines and speed and all kinds of drugs. That was the thing the Nazis were super into. It's the thing the Trump admins really into is uppers and all that shit.
Yeah.
So like, then the question is this uniquely dumb or have they always been dumb?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm constantly going back and forth. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
I
or
mean,
maybe it's the fact that they've always been
at some
dumb,
point you have to ask,
now
does
it's
it
harder for them
matter?
to get away with how dumb they are. Like they've always been this dumb.
Does it matter? The damage is done either way.
Yeah, possible.
Dumb or not.
Maybe.
What does it matter if they're dumb or not?
It's hard to know. But yeah,
You get into power and
we're in that place, man.
they do the damage. It
We're in a
doesn't
really
matter.
fucking weird place, and it's a. I don't know. I was sitting there when I was making that video last night, and I started doing more Trump stuff, and I was like, I'm not saying I'm a pro at it. I'm not saying it came out perfect, but it should take more time than I spent on it to make videos like that. Like that's all I was thinking as I was doing it every step of the way. Like it's not that it was the best. Like I know that, but
it's easy.
It
like
shouldn't be easy.
Yeah.
And if it's easy, it means that if I had money and time, I could make exceptionally convincing ones.
Yes.
I had a handful of people who I know reach out and say that they couldn't tell the difference. They didn't know that I integrated Trump's actual speech at the end. They're like, really? Wait. Because they thought and it's like, but that's the speech you did see that everyone thought was real. So
yeah, I saw a couple people have to ask. But I don't know. I mean, for me, it was like pretty obvious that it was AI. But I saw a couple of people that like had to ask, and then that made me think of like how interesting would it be if like, or you know, interesting that the idea there would be that there's a sort of a gauge because like the more aware
I have to watch Brooks's video
of that kind of thing happening, the more that you can see it. And
yeah.
You know, that kind of multiplies how scary that the prospects of that gets. You know, because it doesn't even really have to be good at. And
that was the part that I think was messing with me a lot. Again, as I was doing it, I was like, this shouldn't be this easy. I felt like really weird that I was capable of it. But then when it was like reading the comments, I think made me even more fucking depressed about it. Like it was just like,
oh, I didn't read the comments on it.
No, there's people who are like not knowing and not recognizing, and then other people are like in the QC like, oh, I didn't notice. And then I had a handful of people write me. They're like, all of that stuff at the end, some of that really seemed convincing. I was like, well, some of it was from that speech. Like I just recut it, and they're like, really? I thought that speech was real. I'm like, oh my God, like the contextuality of it and how little the actual content or what it is matters is so fucking depressing, dude.
Yeah. Can we be Bongan said, can we be assured that the admin is really, is relying on AI for decision making? I think that that's just a fact that they are. It's just a matter of degree. And the thing is that a lot of the things that they're doing, not all of it, but like a lot of what they're doing is stuff that has been planned for a bit and has been sort of workshopped for a while. Yes, and then I'm sure that a lot of the gaps that are being filled in between, very likely using AI. It's just like when Trump, had a stroke, and they had to have some fake messages to throw out there. That was AI, obviously. Just as like a tiny example. So like of course, there's probably shit like that for sure. They're too stupid to not to.
No, they're really
get a vibe coded government.
Yeah.
What was that?
Just because I mentioned them and I figured since we're talking about this, here are 3 more TikTokers who are pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, I love these. You can always send me these.
The sunglass guy is the one that mainly I think is worth watching because I think it's, again, all of these are nuts. They're all nuts. But the sunglass guy is the one that's like, oh, this is where we're at.
I hope when this is all over, you remember who fired first.
Hello.
You've tried to kill the president twice, and now you've assassinated a man for talking.
You've assassinated a man for working. Hello, that is.
You don't really want to do this, okay? 400 million plus firearms in this country,
Jesus.
and they don't belong to the left, bro. Yeah.
How do you know who? Whatever.
If you think it's okay to murder someone because of their opinion,
Oh,
get what's
okay.
coming to
That's good.
you and yours.
If that's your opinion, then it's okay to do it. But, you know.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So they finally caught the
Fuck.
shooter, Tyler Robinson. I don't care if they
This
caught
guy.
the shooter, because everyone that's been celebrating Charlie Kirk's death,
There's a
you're
left.
just as guilty, just as complicit, and you should be held just as accountable.
What?
So don't worry about it.
That's crazy.
We're gonna start kicking it off here real soon.
Why?
You know we're coming after.
Oh my
You're real
god.
easy to identify with all your pink and purple and nose piercings, body piercings, and tattoos.
Tattoos.
We know who to get. Just because they arrested the shooter doesn't mean you guys aren't gonna pay.
Oh my god.
So they finally caught the
It's
shooter,
so
Psychotic.
Tyler Robinson.
wild. There's another one. I want to watch this one. before I see
Psychotic?
it, though.
Mr. President, I
Yeah,
implore
this
you,
one is.
call for a civil war.
It's more of the same. Like,
Call
if
for
you're
a
not
civil
sending
war,
anything, you're
and
going to be
let us
surprised.
do our
by.
thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country.
What the fuck?
Please. If you're
This is
watching
psychotic.
and you share the same sentiment, send it to Donald Trump. Share it on your page. Whatever. Get this message out there.
This is like all for
All peace come
genocide.
back. Time for peace is over. I'm willing to fight and I'm willing to die.
Mm-hmm.
We are all Charlie Kirk.
Dude, come on. Don't.
Oh my
don't.
god.
Dude, what makes it, if I may, I'm not going to send you the second video, but he has a follow-up the next day. 'Cause that one went actually very viral. And the follow-up is literally asking President Trump, you took an oath to protect this. It's him asking President Trump to allow all the veterans of this country to kill all the leftists.
Oh
What?
my
That's what that video
god.
was.
No, this one was just him saying to do it. The next one is literally him begging Trump to do it, to give him the right.
Oh. What's
But play it.
No,
Okay.
I don't want to search for it. I'm just,
Okay,
I don't know
that's
where
fine.
it is.
I wanna-
It's in his
I wanna
account. I
see
already
it.
closed that shit. I'm done.
The thing that I find, one thing that I know, remember how I told you about the that vigil or whatever, and the thing is that
This is so psychotic.
I think one of the big things, one, they were all pretending and they were all, sort of, they wanted to be seen on video beating this guy, but no one wanted to actually throw a punch. And so by the time the guy got up, he wasn't hurt at all. And, but one of the things was,
What got deleted? What got deleted? The video of that guy begging
get
for
arrested.
a civil war?
they
People
still get
are such
arrested,
psychos,
they
I
still
swear
lose
to
their
God.
channels, they still lose their jobs. They still lose all of these things. And if I'm saying, if you have a lot of these guys that are coming out here and they think it's time to say the quiet part out loud, I think we're seeing the administration kind of back up a little bit because maybe they're going a little bit too quickly. I don't think it would be very difficult to make it incredibly awkward really, really quickly for these guys when they start losing these things, getting banned off
okay.
of TikTok
Weird.
or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like, I feel like a lot of this can get shut down really, really easily. And I think a lot of the reason why it's able to amplify itself so much right now is because a lot of people kind of let it happen. A lot of people think that they have way more presence in society than they do. And when they do have a presence in society, it's usually a very culturally homogenous area. It's not like a... Yeah, it's not like that. They're in their own little bubbles. Most of these guys, when they're talking about like the left or whatever, they're talking about people that they see on the TikTok. They're not talking about people that they see in real life. And and the thing is that I don't think, while there are definitely people that are insofar as like they're insane people that will probably hurt people are probably already doing that right now.
Oh God.
By and large, this idea of like this uprising that they want to have, I don't think that that's going to happen. I don't think that they're about it. And
no kidding. No way.
It'll get really, really awkward when they realize that, especially if a ton of the people that they've been building their channels for a while to be able to propagandize, and then they hit the gas too quickly, and then a bunch of them get fucking like banned off the internet because of it. So I feel like there's such a because like a lot of what these guys are doing, this is illegal. You can get the feds knocking on their door, right? You can go get the feds to go knock on some of these guys' doors right now. And it's like, I wonder if people just aren't doing that because they feel like they can't. It's like, no, you can, by the way. You can. Like, these are people that are threatening the lives of people. Like, these are people that are violating TOS. It's not a you know, taking advantage of the reporting system or a violation of free speech. These are things that people are doing, which is a violation of TOS. It will piss off advertisers. Should, in theory, be incredibly easy to get down as long as people are doing this. And a lot of the shit that are more explicit direct threats, yeah, you can go get the feds to knock on their door because, yeah, they are an actual threat. But I think a lot of people, on some level, don't believe it as well.
Ken has got a piercing in his nose.
And there's so much culture war here happening that I don't think that people believe that.
I don't have much to add. It's like, Jesus Christ.
It's all consumption as well. Charlie Kirk's beloved wife, Mrs. Erica Kirk, addresses the nation. Nice.
Wife's a fucking lunatic, man.
Yeah.
She posted to social media a video of his dead body and her holding his hands.
What?
I'm not joking.
Wait, I'm sorry. She did?
Yeah.
That's like, did you see the suture thing? Did you see when Suture Balaji, you remember? The OpenAI guy.
Yeah, I mean, she's milking the shit. She got someone to film her holding hands and like hugging him and stroking and kissing his hands and like sitting next to his coffin.
No, yeah. I was just asking if you saw the Suture's mom is like lost. She posted like a decayed the photo of her son's corpse on Twitter.
I
like a close up of his like dead face. It was wild.
Of course.
It's like, good
Why
job,
are people
Elon.
so psychotic?
X is
What
just
the
the
fuck?
worst, man.
Hold up, link it, dog. I'm not gonna link you a photo of a dead child's face, dude.
I'm not linking a photo of. I'm not linking the video of her doing that. You can find it online. It's on X. It's not hard to find.
You'll find it. Just go to X and scroll.
Just go to
dude.
X
You'll
and
find
wander.
it.
I'm sure you won't find anything that would get you sort of destroyed or illegally thrown away or any destroying your mental sanity.
Oof.
I'm looking at some of these comments. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Oh my God.
Fire emoji, fire emoji.
Goddamn.
I can't, dude. I can't do it. Nothing is real, dude. Nothing's real. Everything's a meme. It's happening.
I mean, have you watched her video? I mean, you can watch her
No,
video.
I haven't
not the
watched
one with
it.
the dead body, but like the one where she posted. Here, I'll send you.
All right, the one that I just referenced.
America is
the,
just
Charlie
too
Kirk's
safe and
beloved wife
sound
addresses
as
the
a
nation.
country, and that's why people have
in that the streamer lit room.
Yeah, where she makes jokes about what he likes, and it's really awkward.
I haven't seen
it's
it.
Like
No,
very uncomfortable to watch.
I can watch it.
All right. Well, all right.
Okay, I have like an hour left. I'm gonna watch some.
I did send you a Fox video that you have not watched yet, which is still the worst
let me do
thing
that
I've
first.
seen them say.
Okay, let me do that first.
That would be my last request.
Okay.
we feel so compassionate because you see the mental health crisis happening.
Exactly.
But it's not our job. We shouldn't have to live in fear while they figure out what's going on right there.
Right.
Put them in a mental institution, put them in a jail, and you guys figure it out. But people having to duck and dive on the trains and the buses, walking through the street, this is one case, but this is happening all across the country, and it's not a money issue. They have given billions of dollars to mental health and the homeless population. A lot of them don't want to take the programs. A lot of them don't want to get the help that is necessary. You can't give them a choice. Either you take the resources that we're going to give you, or you decide that you're going to be locked up in jail. That's the way it has to be.
Oh
now.
my God.
Involuntary lethal injection or something. Just.
Oh my God. Yeah. The homeless have been helped so much.
Like I told you, man. I'm sorry I'm laughing. I just am like, this fucked me up so much.
If you figure out how the guy was able to write no, I can't say that.
He went straight to Nazi. Like, and that's not like mid-Nazi.
No, that's not.
Like
yeah, that's like this guy is
final solution Nazi.
Yeah, yes.
I'll post this video for everyone.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Because
look
it
up
is,
the link
it
in,
is
in
just
chat.
awful.
Fuck, dude.
Pretty much, yeah. Fuck is about right. I just, like I said, I was on, my brother sent it to me on Reddit. The top comment on Reddit is literally what I said out loud when I saw it. Was, what the actual fuck? Like, it's like,
yeah.
Is there more to this?
So much further. What?
Is there more to this?
No, they moved on to other stuff apparently after.
Kill him. Brian, why did it have to get to this point?
Right.
I'm not sure if he gives proper context to involuntary lethal injection.
He just said it.
He just fucking said it, man. Like, involuntary lethal injection is.
It's like
thing.
Like that's the type of shit. Not only did he say it, there's no oops, there's no like. Oh, I mean, there's none of that.
Yeah, there's none.
It was just. Not only was it just like instinctual, meant it. That's what he's here to do. Type shit. Remember when he said third nationality? Yeah. Yeah.
That's bad. This is crazy to me. And that no one went, like, one, he says, yeah, we should actually just kill them. And they didn't go, nah.
Okay, here's the other thing, and let me say, any sort of way of interpreting this as an avowal for something I disavow, whatever the fuck that is, right? But one thing that I will say is that at the same time, when we were talking about like what would be the weights of like that would say that like that, why would someone on the left do a political violence now? What would be the sort of a weights? Well, I think if you really wanted to fuck with people and you just had a right side of the political aisle that just kept every day they're just a little bit closer. And then you start having like Fox News, just like Black Mirror style, just like you know, start low key changing their outfits into Nazi outfits and shit like that. You know, I feel like it's gonna get less surprising. You know, this guy just said, "Oh yeah," or this guy says, "The homeless population are really lazy and they should probably, if they don't want to get help, be thrown in a cage forever." And then this guy says, yeah, and then we could just kill them in mass. How about
lethal injection? Like, Jesus Christ.
I think we're entering into, I'm going to be less surprised, you know, I'm going to be less surprised. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
insanity.
Get me to disagree with this. It's one of those things that's like, I don't know. If, for example, someone had compiled, I don't know.
It's like ways
that say a single person who maybe recently had something happen, who had spent more than a few dozen times calling for literal violence against political enemies. It's like, yeah, but these blowback's a thing. It's how it works. I'm certainly not going to be posting something like that and sending it to you. Why would I do that from a really interesting thread? But it's like, yeah, there's things happen when people say shit like, hey, we should murder all these people. And it's like, I don't want to be murdered. And then it's like, hey,
I don't want to be murdered, to be honest.
But look, extremists on both sides. One doesn't want to be murdered. The other wants to kill everyone. Right? Isn't that how it works?
Whoops. What the silence?
Like, a terrible line if someone had said, for transgender athletes, what you need to do is, I wish fathers formed a line in order to physically confront transgender athletes when they came, because they're going to have to come through us. That's kind of a call to violence.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I can't imagine why anyone would be upset about such a thing.
Kind of.
Like, it's just, there's a lot of shit like this where it's like,
I'm dead.
Yeah. My side wants people to be emancipated,
emancipated,
be able to have good lives with homes and food,
emancipated,
and that includes all the people on the right as well. I'm an extremist.
It's there's an irony of the fact that the call for political violence is they've made it a viral meme on purpose.
Yes.
They made it a viral meme on purpose.
Yeah.
Without a shred of irony.
I think they've exhausted this conversation, to be quite honest with you.
This, don't have a word to call it.
It's very awkward, and it has been fun. I always do enjoy our talks, as much as it may seem like I tend to get combative. I always do have a good time, so it's appreciated. And thanks for having me, and
especially
taking the time to deal with my dumbass.
I love how
be safe.
Brooks
bye-bye.
gave up on talking to me at all. I guess talks with me are not as fun as Kid Nutkin.
I'm hurting already. Why are you hurting, dog? I feel like we've begged and pleaded with the people in this giant psyop to wake up. Dog, get some water. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm not... this is gonna be weird. There was this, and then there was I'm obviously not gonna be watching all of
I guess I'm not too American enough
thing, but I am interested in hearing what the Channel 5 thing, like his basic sort of assessment. I literally want to know if he feels like he did it. I can't stop thinking about that meme. Yeah, I can't stop thinking about that idea. Just psychologically,
Psychologically.
I can't stop thinking about it. It's like
psychologically thinking, as opposed to just
imagine you're debating someone. You're in the middle of debating someone, and then they just die in the middle of a debate, like a famous person. Like you traveled somewhere to debate someone, and there's a lot of pressure, and you just you're right in the middle of like an argument, and then all of a sudden
people die.
While right when they're like responding to an argument that you're making, they just die. I just wonder whether or not there's part of you that feels like, did I just do that?
No, there's not.
How did I do that?
It's stupid.
Such a weird.
Very self-centered.
They're gonna have to strap Trump with blood packets for when he dies of natural causes.
That's a very self-centered sentiment.
Yeah. You're confronting a guy and he gets whacked. Yeah, that's a weird one. Well, not just a guy, but like because you know celebrities in particular, but also celebrities that are known to have like a lot of power in this sort of regard, right? Like, and you're challenging that celebrity in front of an audience. Like, it's a very particular kind of a feeling, right?
I suppose so.
And it's something that you've probably known of the guy for a while beforehand, and then it's a weird thing, right?
Yeah, people dying is weird.
Flagpole on the thumbnail, missing the stars on purpose. Oh, it's just a icon thing. It's probably just looked like I don't know. It's probably just a thumbnail thing. I don't know if it means anything. I'll deal with it internally because the trauma of surviving is socially unacceptable to discuss with people.
Oh, I just died.
Laugh at you
I just died when I was just about to win.
I remember.
Because I'm stupid, even though I had this.
I feel your Kirk's...
Brilliant.
I feel for Kirk's kids, nothing more.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, but...
Want to watch something else
It's not
now?
really a decision, right?
What's not a decision? Thoughts on my debate with Charlie Kirk? Vosh debated Charlie Kirk? I didn't even remember that Vosh debated Charlie Kirk. 4 years ago. This game stinks. Everything that I have about Civilization 7. Three weeks ago. Jim Sterling is terrible at reviewing games. Okay, I guess I'm gonna watch this.
This video is called "You Didn't Finish the Game."
Oh,
and it
these
relates
guys
to
again.
The concept of reviewing video games.
These games
without
again.
having
These guys
finished them.
again.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, this shouldn't be pretty straightforward, I think.
I've given it a watch through, and I've got all timestamps for the discussion parts. This is a Sterling video, so you can end up with a lot of crazy shit in it. And I've made sure to cut around so that we can just talk about the main.
These are
things
the
we brought up.
snobs
Because isn't
that
the
think
fun of the
that you have
whole
to
thing?
play
There's
games
even
in a
another
certain
video that I
way.
got as a potential that's called "You Didn't Need to Finish the Game." So,
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it's just this is a topic that's
How do
come
you
up
even
in the
argue
world of
that?
gaming. I don't know.
I think it's possible.
Finish the fucking game, you bums. Like, what are they? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Listen, if it's it depends on the game, right? Some games
depends on the game.
Depends
some
on
games
what
are
you're
really
doing
long.
as well.
And some games
Depends
completing
on-
them means different things,
Yeah, like completing an MMO or... Well, we'll see if any of that comes up. Maybe we're wasting our f***ing
Oh,
time.
and then it's worth remembering that Total Biscuit.
The Lodge of Snobs,
doing,
the elite
special game
squads.
coverage was first impressions, but
Mhm.
very
WTF is,
deliberately
You make sure to
labeled
let everyone
and
know
presented
that
as
was the
such.
case.
Exactly.
Yeah, as long as it's clear.
Yeah,
The
I
elite
think
squad.
that's the important part. Obviously, we could give our
Okay.
takes on all this, but
Oh
we
my
might as well use
God.
the video to sort of introduce them, I guess. And that means we're starting around here. Here we go.
Ah, oh my god!
What
Oh my
the
god!
fuck is
Oh
that?
my god!
It's
What a beautiful lady.
aesthetic.
Are we skipping
Yes,
the video
okay,
essays
Jesus
preamble?
Christ, you're
Yes.
transphobes.
This
I get
This
it.
is only a minute long, this part that I skip again. but
Yes, I
this
get
is
it.
the
You're a bunch
idea
of
the video, and then
transphobes.
we get to the discussion of the video. There's a portion where like dumbass comments are read, and it's just like we don't need to do the thing. Like we don't. Which, you know what? No shade to anyone who does it. I'm just saying we got lots of videos to cover. Okay. And
Well,
I
if
think
your intro was good, we might give a shit about it. But all of Jim Stephanie
This is
Sterling
such
Position's intros are
fluff.
terrible, and they're cringe, and they're never funny. So why
This is such
bother?
fluff. Oh my
Crazy
god.
idea that people say stupid things on the internet unbelievable.
I know. I'm listening to stupid opinions right now.
If you have what could be considered a controversial perspective, and then you go, right, time to defend my position, and then you start talking about the stupidest, craziest people, like, you should do it, or aliens will abduct you. It's like, you know what, this doesn't even make sense.
Yes, aliens.
This is just video games. There's no aliens involved. What's happening?
I just, I take issue.
I enjoy aliens.
I'm just staring at this hat.
Nothing wrong with some Isla Mouse.
I'm just gonna say it. I wore it better.
Wait, when did you have a top hat?
It was on my thumbnail for my Jim Sterling response last year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Omega Ridley did it. It was really good.
Congratulations.
Absolutely, definitely, yes, 100%.
Get to the point. Oh my god.
Well then, let us see this introduction of the topic.
I like lettuce.
Video game reviewer. Today, well, some of you may have seen this episode coming. We will, of course, be touching on my...
By the way, if you're going to do, like, the CRT, like, monitor effect, you need to have the lines moving. Like, if it's static, it just looks
Okay,
weird.
Jesus Christ, shut up, shut up!
That's where you're wrong, Fringy. That's a common misconception. Whenever you would buy a CRT monitor back in the day, it had this, like, film over the screen that had those lines on it. So you had to make sure that when you brought it home, you had to peel it off.
That's right.
Yeah, you had to peel off that film
true.
so that the lines would go away.
It's like when you get a new phone, you got to peel off the CRT fake display thing.
They always pop that on the phone. Dab them.
Like, seriously, it has to move. This just looks
That
stupid.
is part of what it does. That's the whole point, is that they move.
Spice-inviting review for The Legend of Zelda, The Tears of the Majora.
Oh my god. Indigo Gaming, welcome to the show.
I don't care.
Indigo Gaming.
Timers.
Jump right into that, watch together, and you can join us. We're about to start the discussion of whether or not one must complete a game before reviewing it.
That's a good discussion. Thanks for inviting me.
No problemo.
The stupid discussion, as always.
To the Kingdom of Time.
Oh, that's all the names
Today we're
combined. I get
talking about
it.
a particular
That's really funny.
I think that cut was to be like, yeah, you big mighty bow. Broke! Because that's the big thing, right? Equipment damage, degradation.
Big mighty bows can break, right?
Oh my
Zelda
god,
games,
these
people
people
were
are
upset
so
about that.
annoying.
It was really annoying in the first one. It was a bit
I'm
it was
gonna
better in the
try a few times and then I finish
Still
stream.
annoying. Still annoying.
Damn them.
Argument, a particular flavour of rhetoric that turns up whenever a controversial review comes out and the fandom gets mad. Which it always does because the fan base is exhausting.
You can leave whenever you want.
You can leave.
Why do they do this if they find it that like exhausting? I just don't get it.
This is the thing. What do you have to say about this? Just like, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just That's just. What
I
happens,
wonder why
guess.
people would find cunts like you exhausting. I just, wow, I wonder.
You have to go and fist fight.
What a mystery.
But you could. You could.
Yeah.
But not,
You know that if you were reviewing silent films back in the day, that there'd be a fan
What a
base who were
mystery.
Like, hey, you fucking gave this an 8. This was a 9. Piece of shit. It's not exactly a big
Bingo.
change, but you know what? Fair enough. If they've been particularly angry this time, let's see what they've said.
The topic I want to get off of my heaving productive chest this week is the case
Heaving?
of fandoms
Why did you say that?
arguing that a review
If
is
you were in better shape,
invalid
you wouldn't heave when you
because
spoke.
the reviewer didn't finish the game. An argument that presents a real tactical own goal if they actually got what they claim they
interesting.
wanted.
All right, that's our hook. That the truth is, you don't want reviewers to finish games.
What, because they would form a
Clever.
worse opinion of it? Is that...
I mean, if the game is shit, then do you need to finish it to review it? If the game is really shit,
200 hours
and then one percentage at the very end is good, does that mean that I...
Jesus Christ.
Wait,
Yeah, no,
you
that's
did like a
legit.
you did like a 1 hour game?
200.
200?
No, in terms of like a mechanically heavy, a game that's heavy on mechanics, that's going to be important to me. I really want to know someone who's going to be completely thorough. But if it's just a 1 hour game,
Wait,
then-
let's take a normal game like BioShock. How many hours should you have in that? Before?
Okay.
What would you
That's a couple hours with that wouldn't bother me. But something like
A couple?
League of
Wait, you went from 200 to a little? Killing yourself.
Okay,
Oh my
compare
God.
that to something like League of Legends or Dead by Daylight, something that's like really mechanically focused. I want to know that they've had an extensive amount of time in the game. But something that's a little bit more story based, then that's not gonna. I'm gonna have a little more leeway with that.
Well, because I was going to say with Bioshock, I'd probably want them to complete it, preferably twice,
Yeah.
depending on what kind of review they want to do.
Twice.
If they're just doing like a, this is what I thought of it when I played it once, it's like, whatever. That's almost like the premise for all of this. Is just label what you actually did at the beginning, and then tell me what you felt and thought. I guess so that we know the scope.
There's loads of different things going on within this space we call reviewing. There's exhaustive analytic appraisals,
Yeah.
and then there's just the sort of first impression, this is what I made of it, so recommendation, no recommendation, based on what you think of my taste and how it aligns with yours, sort of thing.
Yeah, this actually reminds me a lot of this talk that Total Biscuit had way back in the day, and actually I actually asked him that question when I was at his panel way back when at DragonCon, and he was saying that he specifically kind of did his impressions videos like mid game to get his like kind of on the ground kind of expression of opinion as he was in the middle of the game, but he did not frame those as reviews. He would always call them impressions videos because he had not finished the game yet.
The series was called WTF Is.
Yeah,
and there were always impressions videos, and I think that it has some value, but I think that a review definitely demands that you have a very thorough understanding of the game, at least completed it once, and depending on
5 times at
a
least.
game where it has like multiple paths, multiple classes, etc., you might actually have to play it twice or 3 times to get a full opinion.
That's where, because it's like, where's the harm? Why are people angry? And it's like, it's usually when you give a bad review and you weren't familiar with the mechanics, or you got stuff wrong. That's where people get upset.
I have a great example that Tonald actually did a review. He actually did a collab video with me a long time ago, before he blew up, and he did a review of the Friday the 13th game, and I was Steam friends with him at the time. He did a review, published a video on the game, and he had 45 minutes of gameplay on that title.
Wow. That's a bit low.
Yeah, that's a little low.
You're not gonna have an understanding of the mechanics or the bugs or like what actually is overpowered and the things that people actually want to know. The
typical person when reading a review of a game wants to know what's overpowered and the bugs.
That's fine, but a lot of the people.
Yeah, of course.
The fairly frustrating truth of things is that mastery has a really strong correlation with familiarity with mechanics.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's where I got my crazy 200 number from.
Again, this snobby,
shitty. Before I just
shitty.
threw out that number because that's so like
What would
open-ended for video games. But
what would an analytic appraisal of? Sorry for the sidetrack, but what would that even look like if you were to like? I'm going to review League of Legends.
That's the problem. Is League evolves every week, so
seasons.
And it's also one of the most complex games ever made.
Yeah.
No,
I think
it's
the approach
not.
you have to take is going through.
Oh my god.
Showing a bronze match, silver match, all the way up to challenger, and explaining the different the different criteria of improvement. That'd probably be the only way you can do it. Because like, how are you gonna explain that to someone who's never played the game?
Oh man, even that would take forever.
And then you take into account seasons and stuff like that. Like I got into Smite for a while, and then I think season 3 came out, and they completely changed the entire health regaining system and all that stuff. And I put about 200 hours in that game, and I felt like a complete newbie again. It was crazy.
You blink, and then you don't even know what happened with these patch notes. You have to stay like.
Oh yeah.
so
I mean, I play
consistent with
League
these
like
things.
once or twice a year with some friendos who played all the time.
Mhm.
And
No
every time I
context.
log in, it's like, I don't know any of this. What is this? Explain this to me.
That recognize the items, like the map. That's it. They don't change the map, but
What
everything
is
else.
this character I played a lot?
Who knows?
Completely different. It has none of these. It has none of the skills anymore that I know.
Yeah.
Just pray the.
Oh my god, please get to the point.
Yeah.
This
Jesus.
brings us to the real thing I'm targeting to
I just
Ring. Yay, Lord of Ring.
People at home can't see it, but I just skipped like.
I was gonna say, there's no way you just.
I skipped a lot.
I hate video essays.
It's 19 minutes.
You skipped 10 minutes?
No, more than 10 minutes.
19 minutes? We're 19 minutes into the video now.
We have
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
All of that was incoherent rambling from the profession.
By the way, I do love the Gollum
Oh my
inspires like, a
God.
sense of endearingness. Like everyone's just like, oh, there he is! Look at him go!
Yay! Look at him go! Yeah, go
I had a good
Gollum,
time
go
with that.
Gollum, go!
Somehow.
So much you could say.
It
on
wasn't
this
his fault the
topic,
game
and he
was
only
shit.
manages like 10 minutes on it.
Apparently, because like this is the thing I checked through, and I was like, this was the part I found interesting. So maybe it's just me, but
Right.
don't want to spend 10 years on a video all about Gollum, possibly, on Zelda.
I'm not here to defend the concept that reviewers don't have to finish games. No, I'm here to point out the tactical stupidity of using that concept to defend a video
That
game
seems
from
like
a
a
Interesting
misguided approach.
Point of view. Well, obviously, I imagine the same for you, but it's like, wait, what,
You didn't
what
even
is gonna
finish
be
a
the argument?
sentence.
Well,
There is
why wouldn't you talk about the principled position of whether you need to complete
Oh
a
my
game
God.
to do a review of a game? Why would you go?
Yeah, are you
"No,
ethically
you
Yeah,
responsible
just brush it
for
off
that?
instantly.
Instead, it's like,
Ethically.
no, you don't want that. Okay.
Well, it's just a
I'll tell
super
you what
straightforward
you want.
argument. You don't play the game enough, you get things wrong, and then the game's reputation suffers. Did you do something wrong, or should that be okay? Should that just be fine? I think it's
Elaborate on both positions.
I think it's fine for you to have the position that is a fine thing to do, and a human error should be expected, sort of thing. But I also think it's fine to be like, yeah, you should avoid that at all costs, and we should condemn it when we find it. That's what I think. But that discussion doesn't get had. We have a different one in this video. Also, hi, John.
Hello. Hello.
Why are you talking about a different discussion
I don't
then?
know who you
Instead
have
of the one that's
here.
being
So everyone
had.
just shout hi. Hi.
Hi.
There we
Hi.
go. We did it. Everyone's met each
No.
other now.
There, all right, we've all met. Wasn't that fun?
big mean reviewer what didn't like
People are
it.
idiots.
You didn't even finish the game is often screamed through a veil of assumption by gamers furious that a product they're hyped for got a score.
I mean, you can't be this incredulous when a lot of reviewers do not finish the game, and you can tell.
Yeah. If you are a game reviewer, then asking them to finish the game generally is not unreasonable.
And
It's like when you review can you use the product before you review it? You know,
loaded with assumptions. I'd say it's loaded with one big one, which is true, right? Which is you didn't complete it.
Yeah.
Then the ones that follow through from that is the less you play, like the more you play, the more information you're going to gain about the game, the more comprehensive your understanding is.
What if
gonna
the
be.
game is
That's
just
pretty
shit
intuitively-
throughout?
That just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Unlike film, where you can watch the first 10 minutes and then use footage from all of it because you have the file. A lot of the time with games, people can tell how much you completed from looking at your footage. They're like, wait a minute, you've only got the level 1 sword.
Yeah,
that's right.
Something you unlock 7 minutes into the game, they don't even mention it. You know, like there's so
this
many
was
things
something that was an
goes on.
issue in Jim Sterling's Final Fantasy review. The 16 is the new one, or 15?
Yes.
16.
16 is the newest
Whichever
one.
one we're on. Final Fantasy New was all of Jim Sterling's footage was from a particular point in the game. So it's like, Well,
I think that was because that was the crux of the point that Sterling was making about the game and not liking it. But it was strange nonetheless.
Someone just mentioned like the Cuphead reviews, like only the tutorial, right? Or was that just gameplay? I can't remember.
You're talking about the famous clip thing?
Was
Was
Yuji
that
Takahashi?
Yeah, well, that wasn't a review, right? That was just footage.
No, that was just
that was just
something that got
poking fun.
uploaded for some reason.
They were
Why
just
did
poking fun at him.
Making fun.
Why did they post that?
To make fun of him.
I don't know, but thank you. Thank
I'm
you.
just saying, why did the original, like the company that he worked for, why would they post that thinking, yeah, this is good, this is good, people will love this.
Makes us look reputable at our jobs, yes.
any Cuphead footage is good Cuphead footage.
Wasn't that then there was the Doom Eternal one, right? There was
Same guy.
Oh yeah.
Same guy.
Yeah. Good old Dean.
Oh my
Very
god,
bad
these people
video
talk so much.
Too low. Hell, sometimes they ironically say this about
I
games
say so
they
little.
haven't played, attacking reviews of stuff that
Well,
isn't
it
even out.
That doesn't
They
matter.
didn't play them because they were
Doesn't
waiting
matter.
for your review to see if it's worth playing.
Well, a lot of the time, you're going to have access first because you're press. But even then, people don't need to have even played the game to have the perspective that you ought to play a game to completion before you review it.
Exactly.
Like, what does it mean? Does it like the principle develops in real time? It's like, you need to have played to completion every game that I personally have played. With all the other ones, I can't have an opinion.
Yeah, like you
on them.
can't review my review until you've played the game fully. Like, no. There's
I
plenty
don't
we can
know about
review.
that.
even.
Exactly.
I think it's like a basic expectation of a reviewer that they had played the whole game. Like that, like if you want to be extensive and play it several times, that's preferred. But at least finish the game once. That's like the base requirement, I'd say.
out yet. This argument is treated by many fandoms as the ultimate gotcha. The
Okay,
holy
last
grail
thing and
of
I'm leaving.
They got you with
self-soothing
it,
justice.
It sounds like they got you.
Sounds
You're
like
very,
they got
very,
you,
very
yeah.
upset.
You sound a bit big mad about it.
Yeah.
No, not Jim Sterling. They never get mad.
Hello.
Prove a reviewer
sound a
didn't
bit
finish a
bald.
game or
My day.
convince themselves
Madav.
of it. They can
Are
discredit
you new
said
to this
review
stream, Madav?
completely. Of
Have
course,
you
No, the point would be that the review is discredited itself.
been here
they're trying to
before?
point that out.
How did you find this stream?
I would say that there's something wrong with
Because
it.
it's rare that they would simply say, you didn't even finish the game, but even if that's something that's being said, it's not hard for people to pick up what the point is. Like, oh, so they fucked up, or they've got things wrong, or they're not very good.
Trying to defeat this enemy
The
now.
later levels sort of thing. Which
While
is okay,
listening
by
to
the
a
way.
bunch of
Most
idiots
passionate
talking
fans don't
about
wanna
video
hear you
games.
talk about how hard the first few levels were and how you didn't like that. They're gonna be like, okay.
Well, part of the problem is that people have. It's the reason why people do harp on this stuff, like we were talking about with like the Cuphead gameplay. If that's your mode of play for that game, that's going to be pretty useless. The information the perspective you have on that game is going to be pretty useless for most people because you're just not playing it at the same level that they are. And I'm not even talking about like an extremely high level of play, but just like a normal average level of play. And people, when people buy these games, a lot of the people who are going to be looking at these reviews probably have some expectation of playing it to the end. So you probably need to try to mirror, the experience that those people are going to have and want to get information about from you.
And the only way someone can discredit something you've said that's incorrect about a game is by having more knowledge than you have, which is usually going to come from them having played the game, which they usually can't do because you're press and you have it early.
It's relevant for Armored Core just coming out because already having people on it's like the first boss is too hard. This is a bad game. It's like, have we still not arrived at the point where it's like, oh, FromSoft game, that's probably going to be a hard game.
Yeah.
And just imagine all the games that you've played. Like if everybody's played a MGS5, I have not played all the way through it, but imagine reviewing the game after playing the first 2 hours versus the next 50.
MGS5 is like 100 hours long or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but like,
it, and I have 50 hours.
I don't
in the
even
game.
know if I finished it. If I got to the point that
I
was
didn't
the
finish
end.
it.
That was
I
a
think I
amazing game.
when they started recycling the missions, I was
that's
thought,
right.
Okay, I'm done.
I came to a point where I thought I was done, and it was like, okay, now here's more. It's like, wait, what? I thought we're okay. And then I stopped.
After you got Skullface?
I don't
reminds me
even
of
remember.
like DS2, where it's like, oh, Dragon Rider again. It's like, yeah, but he's on a really small platform. That's different. Like, great. And he just falls off it. And you're like, oh.
That was an old SNES game trick where, like, after you defeat all these bosses, they would just have a final boss rush at the end and just recycle every single boss. Like, almost every game did that.
They did that in Devil May Cry 4, but that's because the game was, like, horrendously unfinished. The entire back half of the game is backtracking through the same levels as a different character, and then you also get boss rushes of all of the old bosses just over again.
I hate these people.
Metal Gear Solid 5 just reminded me of something that is related to the way that games are reviewed. I could be wrong about this, but as I remember it, a lot of the initial reviews that came out for Metal Gear Solid 5 were the product of a 5-day long, 8 hours per day.
A lot of their points are really stupid.
Where they had to play the game and try to complete it within that time. And so plenty of reviewers would have needed to... It was the chicken hat that made you invulnerable. And so you think about the idea of what are the
I know. What if the game is
ways
just
of
shit?
essentially creating and
Do I have
presenting
to
a review to people.
finish it or I
Playing
cannot
a
talk
game
about
under
it?
those conditions where you're in a rush to get it done would be like another example of how
Until I see the very end of the game, I cannot judge the game to be shit. What if it's not worth finishing? What if it's so bad that it's just not worth finishing?
It's really important, and it probably ought to be encouraged more in reviews. Some level of disclosure about the way that you went about it, not necessarily for not just for circumstances
honestly,
like that, but how many times did you play it? How long did it take you to complete it? Like, this information is not gonna, it's never gonna be unproductive to be clear about how much time you've spent with a game and how you did it.
And the environment that they were put into, like, this kind of super fast kind of expo, like, where you get gift bags and you're kind of like, you got a paid hotel and, food and everything like that. Like, there's a certain energy to that. Like, imagine watching the same movie by yourself on Netflix at home versus watching it in a theater that cheers at every major event, who's who are like shouting when their favorite hero shows up on screen, things like that. You're going to get two very different experiences. From
watching
those.
it in a theater with the people who made the movie sat to your left and to your right after they paid for you to come here and paid for your room, and they're watching you and looking at you the whole time.
Oh my God.
Did you like that? Wasn't that a funny joke?
Yeah. Laugh at it.
Aren't you laughing? Isn't it fun? Look how
These
much
people are
how come you're the only one in here
so
not laughing?
self-absorbed.
You're not gonna get an
bag.
You're not gonna get an honest opinion in that from someone in that situation, like with all that pressure. Like it's
Well, yeah, and we haven't even talked about the cultural element of just the.
They love the sound of their voice and the smell of their farts.
Yeah, quicker.
I can tell.
With reviews that everybody feels very much oppressed, especially for these outfits, right? Like journalist websites, especially the smaller ones, that there's like a real pressure to get it out as soon as possible. You know, that the embargo date is the date you want your review out, because later people don't care as much, people are less interested. You lose out on those tasty views.
Oh, fuck me.
Your service isn't as necessary.
Yeah.
It's like the difference.
Doesn't work for games. Doesn't work for games.
Like imagine watching Home Alone at 4 on DVD. It'd be the worst experience ever. But being like Rich Evans, watching it right next to Macaulay Culkin and making fun of it would be the most hilarious thing.
What about like MMOs or something? You can't even finish them. That's true.
Yeah, I got kind of caught up in games like when I went to expos and stuff and played Overwatch before it came out. People would stand.
But these guys said that League of Legends is one of the most complex games ever made. So I didn't even know what to do with that.
Got bored of it. You know, it was a good game for a while, and people were really excited for it. But the environment of like, oh my god, you got to wait in this huge line and wait hours to be able to try this amazing game. But when it's released to the public, people were waiting for hours to play Lawbreakers, and that game died really fast. Yeah.
Their triumphant invalidation won't make the review disappear, and it won't stop them being so fragile.
If a game is pay to win, then the reviewer has a duty to pay a maximum amount of money.
I mean, but also you're getting angry over their reactions.
Yeah,
so.
I'm so tired of it. No one cares. Nobody cares.
Say the people that assume that people care what they have to say.
Jim Sterling's the one who, Jim Sterling has opinions regarding violence and who it's okay to enact it against, so I don't really care about their opinion on what.
But at this point, are we saying if someone says like this review is
yeah,
shit,
of course they have to.
Off, are they like, whoa, violence?
Violence.
They have the full experience of the game.
Imagine the reviewer just starts out by telling you how his morning went. It's like it's not relevant. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm interested in your morning, Theo.
I'm not interested in my morning.
And I was there when it happened.
Some coffee. I saw a little bored.
7 out of 10, so they'll be left with annoying and hollow feeling in their terminally irrational minds when they find themselves unable to move on.
I get it, man.
They believe in the
you're upset.
I guess it's just really funny.
Guys buried in salt.
By the way, I cut out loads of just ripping into annoying comments. That's what.
Well, we're 20 minutes into a 29-minute video.
Yeah. Why we got to be so dramatic either?
He's just been bitching so far.
What is this?
He hasn't made a point.
What does the script look like? Is it just internet people are freaks like 20,000 times repeated?
The truth's got to get out there, okay?
I mean, they have a point. See, looking at you people.
The of the argument isn't what's stupid, however. No, that's not what makes you didn't play the game a fucking imbecilic way to defend a video game from a review.
But it would totally be. This is the thing that annoys me about the video. It's like, can you not accept a single possible time where it would be valid? Not one.
Nope. Yeah, where someone plays it for 10 minutes
stupid.
and then does a review and says and presents it as being.
That's not the argument being presented.
Surely everybody would agree at that point.
You kill a couple of hollows in Dark Souls, and then you say like the combat is absolute shite. You just kill a bunch of things that can't even move.
Well, you know, if we're talking about this game, like we're talking about Tears of the Kingdom, if you said, yeah, no, I completed the opening like Sky Islands, and then when I got to land, that was it. I was done.
Yeah, you're missing like 5-6 game mechanics you can't even use yet.
Well, then you're missing like 95% of the game, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yeah,
but no, it's
probably
stupid every time.
Are you going to talk about that?
So there's a difference between not finishing a game and only playing a little bit of it.
Yeah,
That's also a whole totally different thing. What if I made it to the very last boss and I just didn't finish the last boss?
Every reviewer to play every game to thorough completion, it would be far more likely to lower a score than raise it.
So it was.
Wait, what?
So it was what I guess.
Is that the case?
What?
I think the keyword here is forced, because the way that it's being contextualized is that the reviewer is, they've done what they wanted to do, and then someone says, and sits them down, chains them up, and says, you must get to the credits before you can say a thing. And of course that would be unpleasant to the point where it would infect your own playthrough. But what people are advocating for is, can you please have integrity, accuracy, and honesty? That's what they want.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that there's going to be goobers who are just saying it to discredit you and everything, but...
we move past those guys and actually get...
You don't have to care about the random freak on the internet who says nonsense. You don't, like, the guy in your YouTube comments, you don't have to care about him.
Thank you for giving me permission not to care about what you say.
You should have evolved past this a long time ago.
I was about to say
evolved.
You gotta have thicker skin than this.
No matter what you do, he's gonna be there.
And like, imagine giving a review is like, I watched the first hour of the latest Marvel movie, and it is pretty good. You guys should go see it. I give it an 8 out of 10. It's like
that's the thing.
Or watching half the episodes of a show or something.
That system should be approved of by basically every reviewer if they're going to have this kind of point of view. And it would be insane if you were to... Because we do it these days for TV shows. A lot of reviewers review the whole show based on the first few episodes, because that's like what they get given. Which is already weird.
Secret Invasion was getting decent reviews based, which is already pretty terrible. Those first couple episodes, but wow.
But if they'd seen that last episode, would they have been as positive? Probably not.
Well, maybe they would have been. They weren't quite sure what the tide, where it was going to turn.
Okay, under that, I thought that Draxon would really pull people out,
Yeah,
it did. Yeah.
That broke so many people.
Even watching a Mike Flanagan show all the way up to right up to the last episode would be very misleading, because his shows are great usually up to like the last episode.
Which one?
Well, I might be in the minority opinion, but I didn't like... I've not seen all of them, but of the two, Bly Manor and Hill House, I did not like the last episode as much as the rest.
Midnight Mass, I think the last episode was nonsense.
I've heard that one's like the worst, but Hill House's ending, I agree.
Yeah,
Bly's ending I like. Hill House was...
Why are they talking about this?
I understand why they did it.
Not very smart, are they? No.
The proper...
No, they're not.
They should have, committed.
I agree.
They think they are very smart, though.
Eat liver and onions. I didn't like liver and onions before I was made to eat it, and I resented liver and onions afterwards. You can't improve someone's opinion of something by cramming it down their throat.
But that's not what people are trying to do.
They don't care about your
Don't review video games and
That's like a false premise. Was it crammed down your throat when you reviewed it in the first place?
People aren't saying that you need to be locked in a dungeon until you complete it. They're asking you to play it to the end. To develop a more comprehensive understanding of the game. That's it.
They care about your accuracy more so than your opinion.
Oh, fuck me, I died.
This is more like an analogy of making a first-person
shooter. I almost won as well.
Play a sports game, or making a strategy game fan play an RPG or whatever.
They're not trying to force you to play to the end. They're just trying to tell you to play to the end. Is the argument, unironically.
Analysis and review of this game, you should probably have a pretty good idea what the entire game plays like.
There's so many simple aspects to it. Just when you say any broad statements about the mechanics or the soundtrack or the levels or the enemies or the combat, and you've not actually consumed all of those things from the thing, people start getting a bit weird about it.
And I guess because I thought I had guessed right, but no, what I thought the point was going to be was the more that somebody plays the game, the more likely it is that they're going to understand the mechanics so well that they might start noticing flaws that would otherwise pass by somebody who's not as familiar with the mechanics,
Which doesn't need to be a problem. Of course.
Well, I mean, I think everybody would generally consider it to be a good thing because it's based on a more comprehensive understanding of the game. But it seems the point is no. If they had to play it longer than they wanted to, their bias would start to seep in to the point that it would infect the review.
I mean, it's possible.
Point to make that you're so compromised in terms of your bias.
Yeah,
it would be impossible for you to be accurate anymore.
I think it's nuts that the counter argument is, I'll become so biased against it, I'll give it an even worse review. Like my whole issue
right.
with you so far was how you're too biased in a bad way.
It's on you, my guy.
Yeah, you f***ed up. This is worse for you, not me.
Part of the big.
I'm just
like,
madder at you.
What?
Like we should be trying for some level of objectivity, not you just being a bitter asshole.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, then someone just points out a simple mistake. They say, "Oh, you said this was this, and it's actually this." It's like,
Yeah,
you,
gaming
next
is
time I'm gonna say
entertainment, not
stupid as shit
science.
just to annoy you.
Have we forgotten that?
And like, if you're really just falling off a game that hard, you can still put out what you have with the
Gaming's
understanding
supposed to be
and the intellectual
entertainment.
humility to say how much time you put into the game. Fine.
By making them sit at the table all night and finish the plate. I guarantee you that if I felt forced to engage with Zelda's broken weapons and ass-backwards controls more than I felt I had to, if I felt obliged to play more of the bits I thought were convoluted wastes of time, I'd have given it a lot lower than a 7 out of 10.
Backward ass logic is this: when you're like, you don't want me to give it a more thorough review because it would be more negative.
Yeah,
it's like I would want to hear about that.
Good.
Yeah,
They're missing the point.
negative if it's more
They're
accurate.
stupid.
Exactly.
But not necessarily. Surely there's
Yeah.
got to be some instance where playing it more would improve your experience. I mean, come on.
Because you
In the
come
same
to
way that-
understand what
Yeah,
you're
if
doing
you
wrong,
if you enjoyed it,
Exactly. Well, it's the same reason why.
because
if you
the
know, it's
main
not quite the same
factor in
because
playing
not
games is
interactive. You watch the
enjoyment,
film twice.
isn't it?
Sometimes you can benefit greatly from that experience.
And we've,
when it comes to really good
a
films.
whole lot of people
That's almost-
soured on Endgame on their second watch. That's a
I feel like you don't really know a film until you rewatch it. That's when you take your
I-
emotions
This
out of
is
it
so
and get the truth.
stupid.
And the
Oh,
fact
well,
that
I mean-
this guy is appealing to this thought process for video games is crazy to me.
we're not even finishing it the first time around.
That's what I'm
For
saying.
an easy games example, Dark Souls 1. I've seen, this is anecdotal, but I've seen both myself and
Of
so
course,
many people
anecdotal.
on their first time through that game get to the bell gargoyles, get just rinsed over and over again for hours, and hate the game. They hate it. Then they beat it and they love it.
Yeah.
Like, something starts to click after they are good enough
Yeah.
to beat that boss, and suddenly they're in love with the game.
Well, it happens sometimes that you can play a game for a very long time and just be completely out of sync with it.
Yeah.
You just don't get it. You aren't in rhythm with what is the most optimal experience with that
What
game.
the
and then
fuck
the
is
longer
the
you
most
play it, you just
optimal
start like,
experience?
oh shit! Okay.
Games
yeah,
are
now
about
I get it.
fun,
You know,
not about the
how
most
you-
optimal
You're
experience.
robbing yourself of those potential eureka
This
moments
is
with a game.
so stupid.
And you're
the less you
freaks
play
like
it.
me.
It's so
Optimal
funny,
way.
right?
Or, okay.
If you suggested that could happen, that could
Yeah.
happen. You could enjoy the game. That's
It's
Give me a
insane.
break.
Why would you ever say that? I'm just gonna hate it. You're like, oh.
Yeah, you have a better understanding of it and understand
Give
why you
me
like
a
the things that you
fucking
like,
break.
why they work, why they don't work. And it's such a narrow-minded point of view. I don't get it.
This is such a weird take too. Like, is this kind of take the idea that reviews need to be positive to talk about like the
I
idea
think
that we must praise Zelda game because it's a Zelda game? Like, it almost sounds like
here is that Sterling is very heavily invested in the conversation around it, and particularly, I guess, Nintendo fanboys specifically getting mad about the review, that it's so mired in that it's almost impossible to move past that to get to the fundamental conversation, which is, do you need to complete a game to review it properly? You know, why should you do that? What are the arguments against it? It's just too mired in the
Oh
meta.
my god. The meta.
What benefit is there to not completing a game unless you're specifically trying to just describe your first impression?
Well, if you're a reviewer, not much. If you're me and
Yeah.
it's a terrible game, many.
Oh my. Oh.
But for a reviewer, yeah, I don't see how ever finishing a game is going to be worse than not finishing it.
Yeah,
I can see many such situations actually.
More context.
You just have to accept this argument of if you were already not liking it, you are going to like it less. But then again, that assumes that the
What if the game is just very, very bad and there's no point in playing it further? There are such games that are just not worth finishing
Exactly.
or even
Maybe
playing all that much.
Maybe the element here is. 'cause
What if
we
the game
talked
is
about this in
fundamentally
the cinema
broken?
aspect with what the duty is of a reviewer and what a good reviewer, what a good review is. When we go
Duty.
to the
Call
video
of
game
Duty.
side, if we were to ask Jim Sterling, what do you think is the duty of a good video game reviewer? What should they strive to do, and what makes a video game review a
Oh
good
my
one as
God.
opposed to a bad one? And maybe Jim Sterling is operating on a completely different goal or mindset of what a video game reviewer needs to be doing.
Well, something that maybe these types of journalists who are trying to cover more or less every major release, rather than doing the thing that
If they went to video, they need to go to some more video game festivals.
Oh, what I mean is that because IGN for instance, would feel compelled to cover every single game. Obviously, it's not every single journalist individually is going to do it, but in the case of does Sterling review like a lot of games in a year, or only like 5 or 6 in a year? Because if there's that pressure as well of you want to be making sure that you're doing reviews for every major release, that just limits the amount of time that you have available.
And the passion, you're gonna have interest in each of them.
That's true. Are you going to be particularly interested in every major release that comes out?
Oversaturation.
Exactly. So if there's that too.
And I just want to touch on what Rag said, like the requirement for a reviewer. Like, if let's say it was a list of 3 to 5 things, don't you think finishing the game would be on it? Like, that's just like such a base requirement.
Well, and
depends on the game.
The sort of empathy I can give is when you deal with a game that's enormous, and it's like, what does it mean to complete it? It's like, I understand that. Okay. I understand.
What if it's complete shit?
As evidenced on the screen right now. One thing I know the controversy surrounding this whole review had was that is a low amount of hearts, is it not, for a Zelda game? Gonna have to ask my Zelda experts here, like Metal.
Sorry, I just tuned out for.
If you ask me, I'm like Link to the Past Zelda.
I was about to say
I'm like 20.
Yeah, I think you can get
you gotta get all 20.
I think you can get into 2 rows
with your eggs.
Well, that was something that still got picked up for.
What if you're playing a challenge run?
On the review is that there's a shit amount of hearts in all the footage. Meaning,
yeah, you can't. You wouldn't even be able to get the Master Sword with these amounts of hearts.
It just tells you how much you played the game, doesn't it?
Because you need to do a bunch of what do you call the shrines.
That's right.
A lot of them, and then you get all the parts for that. And here's the thing: Tears of the Kingdom has a lot of shrines. Some of them are pretty good, and some of them are fine because they vastly improved those shrines, I think, over Breath of the Wild.
Anyway.
Take Warhammer 40,000 Bolt Gun, for example. It's a very good game. I gave it a 7.5 and its fans didn't bitch about it. Like the similarly scored, but not quite as good Tears of the Kingdom, I had a lot of nice things to say about it, but a lot of complaints as well. Chief among them, the fact that its limited weapon and enemy variety meant the game ran out of content long before it ran out of levels to put them in. Bolt Gun starts off hilarious and exciting, an incredibly fun pairing of the ludicrous 40k and the over-the-top 90s style shooter. There's a button dedicated to yelling fanatical threats, a press F to show contempt button.
You'd like that.
Perfect.
Go on.
But over the course of hours and hours,
I was about to say the argument has been made yet. We're waiting. It'll be here in a second now.
the repetitive gameplay, while never diminishing in quality, grew more and more exhausting. The further I got into it, the more tired I became, the more its little minor flaws began to bug me, and the lower my opinion sank. For me,
but see, that's fine. If you
that's fine.
If you play it for an hour and you're settling on a 10 out of 10, then you play it for 3 hours and you're like, actually, I'm over 9. You play it for 10 hours and you're like, this is kind of a 6. That's fine.
Like, I'd call that important information.
Yeah,
for
new
the longevity of the mechanics.
New information creates new opinions. Like it's this guy's insane.
Yeah, and you can describe stuff in review. You don't have to give the entire.
This guy's insane.
How you felt at the end of the game. A lot of games don't really hold up through the end. Sometimes the ending makes the game even better, but a lot of times it's kind of falls off a little bit. Maybe the last boss wasn't great, or maybe the last bit kind of seems repetitive. Great example. I'm kind of again a minority opinion on this one, but Alone in the Dark 2008 has like an episodic TV show format. It's got a lot of flaws. Not the best game in the world, but for the most part, it has a pretty good pacing until the last act of the game, where for no reason whatsoever you have to search the entire like GTA style open world area and burn down like 30 evil routes for no reason before you can get to the last act of the game. And it's like the biggest slog of the game. But had you not played up to that point, not reviewed that point, you probably would have gotten a different experience had you because you don't realize that's even in the game. That's like the last couple hours of the game.
You don't get a full experience.
And I can't imagine.
But if the game is shit 90% of it, and then the last 10 is good, then
me going like, well, then you shouldn't have fucking played more.
It's still a shit game.
And then your review would have
put out a positive review. Don't you know that's your job? To be positive.
The would-be player is just going to go, huh? So this is just going to like sour quite quickly. Then, right?
It's so funny because you just
depends. If the game is shit, then
you know,
I might not just finish it, and it might be in my review. The fact that it was so bad that I didn't finish it.
Well, you should have played it more, because then you would have thought it was better. That seems to be baked into every single argument that's being made.
I think that's what it is. Like, what's the best possible way to get a good review of the game? And like, if you're taking an approach that's going to give you, you know, potentially a negative review, I don't want you to get that. I think it's as simple as that.
Self-own of the Zelda fans.
Yeah, if we ignore like the frothing idiots online, you have to assume that these people who are saying you didn't play much of it, implicitly what they're pointing to there is you were inaccurate about something because of your lack of familiarity.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have found if you had played more.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of a weird thing I've been noticing, especially with bigger reviewers. Like, has anybody been following, vaguely related, but has anybody been following the Linus Tech Tips drama recently?
Somewhat.
Like one of the things that came up, like Gamers Nexus did like a whole expose of all these inaccuracies.
I'm gonna beat this fight now.
Like
I'm tired of
like
practicing.
where they would review things that they were sponsored by Hire, and they like took a prototype, a very expensive prototype, auctioned it.
I'm ready to just beat this fight.
Get it back, and a bunch of other stuff, and just like continually misrepresenting stats and performance of various different bits of hardware, which, you know, thousands, if not millions of people have been influenced by their reviews of video cards and gaming hardware and all this kind of stuff, right? Anyway, one of the things that they kind of said, I think Linus said this in his kind of knee-jerk response, was that how he needs to kind of read the room while he's doing reviews.
Okay, I don't know how I
review it properly, and that's such a weird aspect. It's like, why would hardware performance and your estimation and analyzation of that matter at all? What other people think? Like, if anything, you should practically be isolated from other people's opinions, because maybe everybody else is getting it wrong. Maybe everybody else has got a sponsorship or isn't testing it properly. If you're actually properly reviewing a graphics card and getting, you know, FPS on high, you know, on medium and low, that should be pretty objective, and it shouldn't matter if everybody else loves it or hates it. You should be able to independently verify what the quality of the thing.
Yeah, and great. You've highlighted a time where it's super important, because this comes down to like people buying products that are designed to function. Like, that is the primary purpose. At least with entertainment, there's an angle that even if it's shit, you might still like it or whatever. But you know, we still have examples in history of how these things matter, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
in history,
I don't have as many of the details anymore, but as far as I'm aware, Total Biscuit's the reason Dark Souls made it to PC, which was always like a huge achievement, because people fucking adore Dark Souls. It was huge, and so is From Software on PC now. And likewise, the only big significant breakdown of Soma that was on the internet when it came out was Joseph Anderson's, and he fucking had no idea what he was dealing with when he played the game. And there was so many people in the comments being like, "Oof, good thing I can dodge this one." Like, "Oh, that would have been bad." It's like, "Oh god, this is get it."
Oh, that sucks.
No.
Well,
that sucks.
The money he cost frictional.
And that's the thing. It was done with inaccuracy and clumsiness. It's weird because he's not usually like that. Like, he pissed everybody off with his Mario Odyssey review, right? And didn't he get all of the, what are they called, moons or something?
Yes,
something like that.
I think he collected every single one.
Yeah, and that's commendable to me. The fact that you would do hyper completionist, and then I feel like you have a strong standing for what your opinion might be, even if I completely disagree with it. But like Soma, I don't even think he played through it more than once, when it's a game filled with choices, which is an interesting thing to do when you want to do like a definitive review of it, because he just found it so unpleasant, I guess. But
I mean, if a game is unpleasant, then it doesn't matter how many choices it has. It's just unpleasant.
A worse review
I'm sorry.
Complaining is so bitter.
Yeah,
games are supposed to be pleasant.
Talking about this now, just
to entertainment.
The Resident Evil 4 coverage we did, and just playing through the game like 4 times.
Yeah,
everybody. It was like, oh, and then even putting little challenges out there that have nothing to do with the game, but just see what's going on. And while I was doing this, it was like in, what was it? Oh, in the beginning, when you wanted to kill both Salvadors on professional or super professional, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you just have to do it over and over again, because you really want to do it. And then realize, oh, when I shoot this one zombie man over there, there's like 15 different things that can happen every time.
Incredible.
We learned so much about the mechanics of that game by setting ourselves difficult challenges, because you have to rely on mechanics, and therefore it's like, how do I get him to reliably stagger? And then you're like, well, You can't, unless you do, this many shots in this place with this gun at this time, and it's like, okay. And then you actually get a whole map of the mechanics in your head. And if someone said, like, yeah, but that made you hate the game more, right? And like, it may have...
you learn the game more.
Well, it may have made me give it a lower
Yeah, a
review
game
than I
is
had
not
before I
supposed to be
figured
a
out how
chore
it
to
works, but
learn.
I don't see how that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
because
good
you know
information
how
to
it
have and put in
works.
your review.
And it just gives replay value. Those
If
little
the
mechanics
idea
you
of a
mentioned.
reviewer
That's
is to
great,
have the
but
general gaming
people have
population
lives.
be more
People have
honest, blissful
jobs.
in their ignorance
Oh,
for the
fuck.
real quality of a game and its mechanics. I don't know if I'm gonna go along with that.
Okay, last
It's almost
try,
like
because it's
a
late.
mildly abusive
And I
relationship
was supposed
where
to have
you're
a
like,
short
okay,
stream.
if you demand that I will play more of this game, I'm going to not acknowledge this game as being as highly rated as you want me to rate it as. It's like, what is even your purpose at that point? If you're treating it as like, how dare you ask me to play more of this game? I'll rate it lower because I will not like it as much the more I play it. It's like, what do you realize what your purpose is?
Yeah, completely unrelated. You can make. I mean, that's what Mauler sometimes.
You can
puts us
hate
up
the
to. It's
game
like,
and
hey,
rate it high.
you
Is
all
that what
play
you're
Gollum
saying?
And stream it. I was like, why? And then it's just all just a really good time overall, even though the game is piss. But it's just good things. Like even if you let's say your content brain, it's like, oh man, I can make so much content out of this while playing the game and figuring stuff out, and then make a review on top. Well, that's crazy. And then
what?
You guys made this whole supercut out of it that people were enjoying, and then we cover it here on EFAB. It's like, I don't know, we all had a pretty good understanding of the game, I think. So
good for you.
I just see positives in playing the game to the fullest at least once. I don't know.
No negative to that at all.
Familiarity, as this game would appreciate, breeds contempt. And while I still like Bolt Gun, I honestly wish it were a few hours shorter so it didn't outstay its welcome.
Thanks for the bolt gun review, I guess.
Okay.
Redfall is a more
That was
extreme
long.
but perhaps
That was
better
weird.
showcase of how demanding reviewers spend more time with a game doesn't serve that game's interests. My first few hours with
Who
Redfall...
cares about the
it not?
game's interests? It's the consumer's interests.
Yep.
How can it not
Seriously,
serve the game's interest, though?
He thinks reviewers' job is to praise games, not actually review them. I think that's it.
That's
That's
not...
pretty much it.
Argument that it serves a game's interest because it means that it would be easier for developers to make good patches and balances to a game if they get the most comprehensive information possible on what is working and what isn't working. So, I mean, yeah, you could even make an argument that it isn't a game's interest to get these types of reviews because then they know what to fix. They know how to make a better sequel.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you see this happen
Yeah.
a lot with patched games like Darkest Dungeon 2, 1 even. Those games went through a lot of
Yeah,
iterations
it's not
based on
the job of a
high-profile
reviewer to be the beta testers of
Most people don't remember that, but there was a
developers.
period where people hated Darkest Dungeon because they added in corpses and a couple other mechanics that people weren't really on board with. It
Those
wasn't until
corpses.
like a lot of feedback that they finally removed corpses, or they didn't remove them. They made it
No,
optional.
corpses are still there.
You
They're
can
still
make it
there.
optional.
They still suck.
Yeah, you can turn them off if you want to. Which
Are you sure?
Yeah, they added it as optional, I believe.
But
at least
there's
at one
powers
point.
that people have to like get rid of corpses. What would be the point of those
do you
power
mean in
slots
one
if
or
you have the
two?
option?
In one, in two, I think they're
Right.
mandatory. They didn't add it as, but two is like almost a completely different game at that point. But yeah, in one, they were introduced and people were really mad. There was actually, I think, a period when it went into the negatives in Steam reviews, and then they made a couple different things optional. They
How
also
dare
had, like
people.
a less punishing mode and everything, radiant mode or whatever it was, and now it's back up to 9 out of 10. So
I'm gonna be like, I guess throw a wrench in the conversation and say I think people were wrong to be mad about corpses, though. I think they're a very
Oh,
important
wow.
part of the game. Make it
People are playing the game incorrectly. How dare people not enjoy
this?
this?
My mind with that sanity shit. Can't manage it.
that's the whole game. dude.
How dare people not enjoy this game the way I do?
No. I wasn't dissing it.
People
I was
are
saying
wrong.
it sucked. That game whooped my ass. I'll get back to it though.
God, I remember Darkest Dungeon 1. I think I named them after people in chat, and I think
They all
I called
died.
one. I named one Mauler, and I think I had 6 Maulers in that game.
I remember the movie.
I had 2 Fringies actually, the Plague Doctor.
I put 600 hours in that game. It's fantastic.
What about the second one?
All these people talk about it. We're so good at games. We're so good at mechanics.
It was a bland, mediocre, minimum viable product of a game, but it was relatively inoffensive to me. After playing it a little while, I came away thinking it was dull, but more or less serviceable. Then I kept playing. I kept playing until I found out how f***ing repetitive it was.
Yeah, but imagine if you hadn't.
If it was really good when you kept playing it.
Imagine if you hadn't, though.
Yeah.
I feel like isn't that even a worse point, though, that you realize, oh, if I had stopped, I might have given a downright misleading.
This goes both directions. It's like, are you happy that you give misleading reviews because you don't know how familiar you would be with games?
Yeah, isn't this a great reason why you should play games longer?
Well, longer is not the same as finishing them, is it? That's a completely different argument.
You should be thankful that I have no integrity. You're like, okay.
Wait.
There's a difference between playing a game longer and not finishing it.
And not play any of them. And
It's
give
stupid.
everything 10 out of 10. That way, the 10
I guess
out
to
of
these
10
people it's all
scores
the
are
same.
protected, preserved forever.
No one will ever be unhappy.
That way, you can put out 1,000 reviews a day, and you make all the fanboys happy. It's like, yes, you gave it 10 out of 10. I agree.
Right.
And then anybody who disagrees, it's like, well, what do you want? I didn't play it. I don't know.
I don't know what
I
I'm
would
talking
just
about.
actually play and review 10 games and then just change the visuals every single time a new game comes out of any of those
If you don't finish a game, it doesn't mean that you haven't played it.
Don't mean much difference. And
That's why
fans will be happy. Everyone's happy now.
We did it. We solved racism.
And yeah, someone's just made me aware back in the day. I know we've talked about this in the previous years, but the newest Sacrifice, right? Hellblade, Sterling Gate game a 1 out of 10.
Oh,
Because a bug.
There was a game-breaking bug in it, and that's why.
I remember when
Back to the
Prey
match.
got a 4 out of 10 because of a very rare save game bug, and IGN got pissed.
Yeah,
that happens.
The fact of the matter is, when you're right, and how can you ensure that you won't be wrong?
What?
You know? A right statement, regardless of how much you've played or how little you've played, is still a correct statement.
Uh-oh. You're going to drift into the world of Jim Stilling's perspective on everything I say in my review is correct because it's all subjective, baby.
Oh, boy.
Sounds like
I agree that it's subjective, but like that doesn't make that true.
Well, there's a lot of things you could say about video games. Well, and anything that is like, oh, you can't just say that's subjective. You can't.
Yeah, like as if that somehow matters to the things that I've said that are attacking your argument. I hate it, man.
This is why I wish they would just separate it, so we'd have an understanding of what they're talking about. Because this person is just rambling. Like there's no
You're
thought
just
process. The things here
rambling.
that they're contradicting themselves with. You'd catch that in a
You
script
people
moment.
are just
But
rambling.
this just seems to be like completely just how they feel about it. Like there's no actual research
Yeah,
or anything
because-
done here. Did they even elaborate on other positions, like at the beginning, the parts that you skipped?
Wait, what's in the skipped section is mainly responding to comments that are taken out of, like, comment sections that are insane.
Yeah, because you're not just talking
Did they
about how you
explore the
feel
other
about
perspectives,
things.
though, like why you shouldn't actually, like why you don't benefit from them reviewing. Like,
Let's put it this way: this is
try to
the
make an
best
argument?
faith section of the video.
Oh boy.
Wow. Okay.
While I came away thinking it was dull, but more or less serviceable. Then I kept playing. I kept playing until I found out how f***ing repetitive it was. I kept playing until I found out it had nothing under the surface beyond the most bargain basement basic game.
You have nothing under the surface.
Your review is
Good
now
job.
more accurate. That's neat.
You did it. High five.
I kept playing until I found its embarrassing enemy AI and laundry list of bugs. I kept playing until this inoffensive game had
That's your job. I was about to say. That's what you're supposed to do, man.
At this point,
how
it's
you
like,
get your money.
I did a
Find
health
those bugs.
inspection for a restaurant. It was fine. Then I started checking the freezers, and I found rats, dead rats, in the little
Rats.
freezers. I wouldn't have found them if you guys not complained. It's like, okay.
exposed its weaknesses to such a degree, I felt downright insulted by the thing. What started as Redfall is okay, I guess, became, with time, Redfall is f***ing shit.
What's the problem?
So this is good.
The problem is, see, Nintendo fanboys, you don't want me to review Zelda more comprehensively. You don't want
Because
that.
then the number
Otherwise,
out of 10
Zelda
will go
would be
downer.
like Redfall. That's right. The number would be lower, and that's you don't want that, do you?
You don't want that. You want number to be bigger.
So in this weird
Number
twisted,
would be bigger.
this weird twisted kind of viewpoint, you basically play good games
They
less
really
and
hate
bad games more to even
Stephanie
out the
Sterling.
score. That's basically what's being said, right?
It's more of
I think
a.
they only
this is
talk about
There's
them.
been many attempts over the years for Jim Sterling
And
to shut
nobody
up
else.
people who say mean things, and this is the newest strategy, and I've just found it absolutely baffling. Like, you don't want me to be more honest and thorough because you wouldn't like the results. It's like a threat.
And also, isn't this like a really bad thing to put out there, that publisher, that potentially less than up and up publishers and developers might think like, hey,
I might be
if we
tired.
front load all of our content, doesn't matter after the first couple hours because the reviewers won't even play it. That's a really bad precedent to set, I think.
I just can't get over the fact that we've basically just had Sterling admit that I could have reviewed a game positively that was bad, and that's better. It's like, why is that better?
I thought that the most important thing, surely, would be accuracy. Surely.
Exactly.
That's what you're there
all
for.
the time.
Accuracy,
Like,
integrity,
be accurate.
honesty. That's the thing, like a trifecta that people will absolutely love about videos, whether or not they agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's an asylum somewhere full of people who have been broken by Jim's low scores of their favorite games. It's like,
Well,
I
because
wish,
this all
if only he
happens
didn't play them.
with Breath of the Wild, because that was given a 7, right? Or 6? 7 or 6, something like that. And the same thing happened again, and it pissed
He
everybody off.
said in this video how much he gave.
Which, you know, like, it's something that's worth... There can definitely be, when it comes to particularly hyped up video game releases, where a small contingent of people get pretty rabid about anything, like lower than absolutely glowing praise, and particularly get fixated on number scores.
Yeah.
People can get really fixated on whether a game gets like an 8, for instance, that an 8 is unacceptable because video game scores are so skewed.
Yeah, got really mad at me about Elden Ring.
Yeah, like that definitely exists, but I mean that exists for basically every
Everything.
game, and can we not let that ruin our ability to have real conversations?
You don't have to dignify these idiots with a response.
Yes,
Yeah,
but by doing
certainly not this kind
I
of
mean,
response.
you have demonstrated yourself to be very big mad about this topic.
Yeah, this is definitely an emotional response, this video.
There's definitely a fervor, especially about the Zelda games recently, too. I remember Breath of the Wild. I mean, I enjoyed it. I had some problems with it, too. Most people I know really enjoyed it. I'd probably say it's a good game, for sure. But I didn't like it as much as most. But the kind of environment around the reviews were crazy. I remember Pro Jared. This is pre-Pro Jared controversy, so it had nothing to do with that.
Oh, my God.
I remember he reviewed it, and he said like a 10 out of 10. And he said, "Oh, there's a couple of nagging issues, but they're so minor, and not even worth mentioning." And I shit you not, either the next day or the day before, he had a one-on-one interview with Reggie from Nintendo, and it was like an exclusive interview and everything like that. Okay, it's like I really can't take your reviews seriously if you're that kind of cozy with the. Are you going to trash their game and then talk to Reggie? Hey, Reggie, I really respect your work, and your games are great.
Immediately, like there's a price to honesty, and that's just sort of like welcome to life. It's just one of those life things.
But it's a reviewer thing, though. Like, if you're a reviewer, that's a choice you have to make. Do you want to have honesty and integrity, or do you just try to get paid? Like, you have to make that choice eventually. And people like that, they just expose themselves.
It's difficult too, because if you see, let's say you really like The Witcher 3 and you got kind of cozy with CDPR and everything like that. Like I'm an affiliate of GOG, for example. If GOG did something really bad, I would feel a little sting of guilt criticizing them, but I probably would, because I count my honesty and my integrity more than a couple bucks of every once in a while from somebody clicking on an affiliate link. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't end my life or my career if I criticize them.
These people
But
have careers.
I could see getting really cozy with CDPR, and then they drop Cyberpunk 2077, and they're like, ooh, what do I do now? Do I violate that relationship? It can really affect your opinion subconsciously or directly sometimes. And yeah, it's dangerous. It's really dangerous if you want to keep their objectivity. You have to kind of keep your distance. Keep even
super
people
serious
you like at arm's length.
Business.
I've been party to some dumb attempts to discredit a negative review too. Final Fantasy XIII, one of my earliest reviews to send the community into hysterics, was discredited by some because I said I hadn't beaten the final boss. I'd gotten to that final area, I just did not want to bother playing that last tiny stretch because I had loathed everything up to that point, and
Yeah,
really didn't
I
matter
think
to
that's
me.
fair.
What are you good for then?
Well, I mean, then you kind of then people are criticizing
here?
Then
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Good job.
If
The game is shit, the game is shit.
You know what I mean? Like, as long as you didn't comment on it, then what did you do? Because it makes me think, like, what did you do? What did you say that pissed everybody off?
Yeah.
You played
What
the
was
whole
it
game,
that
you
you
didn't fight one
actually
boss.
did?
Did you
Yeah.
claim to have fight it? Did you claim that you did the whole thing?
Did you talk about the story and conclusively said it's bad, even though you didn't see the end of it because you just
Yeah, because if the
didn't do
game is
rest of
shit
it?
99% and the last boss is cool, then the game is not bad. That's how that works. Uh-huh.
Matter to Final Fantasy fans who delighted in what they perceived to be a silver bullet. Not one of them stopped to consider that if I hated the game after 50 hours, what on earth would make me turn around and love it after 51?
A better
More
understanding.
More experience, you cunts. Like, this is so simple.
If 1 hour doesn't make that much of a difference, then just do the hour. You're a game reviewer.
But this all assumes every single person that ever says anything is like, if you played it more, you'd like it. Maybe they just mean if you played it more, you'd be more accurate. That's all.
Yeah.
Accurate than what?
Imagine playing Bioshock Infinite and then skipping the ending and then commenting on the story. The ending would absolutely either make or break that story for you.
So critical.
In morons. As a concession, I did watch the ending cutscene on YouTube afterwards.
Oh my god. You
As a concession. Oh, it's such kindness. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. Oh, merciful.
I watched the clip though. Oh my god.
Oddly, it didn't make me raise the score.
Okay.
Okay.
That doesn't. Why did you consider that said like a victory? Like, haha.
Yeah.
Showed you. It's like
showed them.
I didn't change my mind. I don't know why you didn't just power through and beat the final boss. But
why
Jim's
would you?
Opinion was one that I.
It's so
thought,
stupid.
And it was consistent. Like I could get some value out of a video.
This is so stupid. Why would you
like, okay,
power
at least he
through
played
it?
99% of it. Like you probably can deliver a good sense of what it's like to play generally. But like with certain games, like if you were to like review Final Fantasy VII before you even get out of Midgar, it's like
if someone was to review Bloodborne's bosses and they had old hunters attached and they're playing it all and they said, listen, I can review the bosses. I may have missed a couple at the end, but I've got it. And it's like, which couple at the end? It's like, oh, you know, Maria and Koss and Ludwig.
That's all.
You'd be like, you missed.
That's all, Bushu.
I can see people being furious and be like, whoa, calm down. I fought like 18 bosses. Is that not good enough? It's like, turns out, no, it's not.
That's all.
Oh, probably
That's so fine though.
For those who don't know, that's just those three of the best bosses in the whole game.
enough. There was an.
Okay.
I was gonna make a cheeky reference and say about the whole not playing for the end thing. Like, imagine if you got a Roger Ebert
Ostatnia
review.
próba,
Like,
okay?
yeah, I watched about
Ostatnia
75%
próba?
of The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
It was all really predictable. It really needed like a twist and you know something to kind of really tie it all together. I felt that kind of boring. Really, it's like,
dude, there are some films or stories that are told that really don't, like, everything doesn't click right in until that like latter third sort of thing.
It's the crescendos, the climax. There's so many different ways to do it, but like a lot of the times, it's essential.
Yeah, it won't fix the gameplay. If the gameplay's shit, the crescendo won't fix it.
The turn and the pristine.
Ooh.
I hate to say it.
Yeah, especially you
That's another one. That ending there. Imagine not seeing the.
Dude, Prestige doesn't make any sense if you don't watch the last third.
I didn't even want to reference it, but like both reveals. Imagine skipping out on both reveals.
Imagine if you were playing Mass Effect and then you got to Earth and you're like, yeah, I think I'm done. Like, and then you go on the internet. It's like, wait, what is
I mean, if the game cannot grab you from the beginning, that is the fault of the game. I'm sorry.
Hephaestus, like that's as far as you get. Just like you're gonna review the story and you haven't even.
You know, sometimes the ending might not change your opinion. Sometimes it might change it dramatically.
Yeah,
that's always a possibility. Why?
Oh, Bushu, ostatni raz,
why
ostatni
limit
ten.
yourself in this way?
There are movies where the
No,
ending
sure,
absolutely
sure.
makes it. There's some movies where I did not enjoy it up
Już
until
zaraz
the ending. I'm
pójdziemy.
like, oh wow, that makes the whole thing
Oh my
way
God.
better. And there's movies, and I won't name the names in case you ever want to watch it. But there's movies where it was all a dream. It was all in the person's mind, and it completely kind of deflates the entire all the events of the film.
Yeah, you can obviously go multiple directions. Someone just mentioned Hot
Yeah, there's
Fuzz.
many
Imagine you
ways.
stopped when he first sort of gave up on the
Już
investigation.
idziemy, już
Went back
ostatni
to
ten.
You'd be like,
Ostatni
So
ten
many
i idziemy.
examples.
the film
Imagine
just
giving
chilled
up on
out.
Hot
at
Fuzz
that
in
point.
general.
The ending of Saw, the first Saw movie, you don't get to see the twist. Like it's just there's so, every movie ending twist would just be
Talk about a movie that needs that
There's
final.
people are just rambling at this
All
point.
the help it can get. Jeez.
Oh man.
Another review written by someone who didn't finish the game. I think the outlet was IGN, I could be wrong, it was a long time ago, but it came out that their early copy of the game was busted and they couldn't play the final third.
No już.
Regardless, they published a review anyway, confident that...
Okay, so
I mean, like that could be.
I know.
I'm fine with it if you make that clear.
Well, apparently you knew that, so it seems like they made that clear in that review? Question mark? I would need to
It
check.
might be something afterward, right? But maybe.
Yeah.
Just tell me.
Just tell me. Yeah, that's it. Just tell me.
Okej,
If
już
you said,
idziemy.
like, I'm reviewing all of the bosses in Bloodborne except for these
Chodź,
ones,
Fajdusiu.
and I've heard they're pretty good, but this is my opinion on all the other ones. You'd be like, all
No
right.
chodź, Fajdo.
I can't take issue with that. That's fine. You made it clear.
they played
Wait,
was
so
enough.
people are mad at Jim because he
No, you're
wasn't
hot.
disclosing these things?
Well,
Is that-
it's so simple, dude. It's this Zelda
Well,
game
'cause
is a 7 out of 10, but you haven't played more than like 10% of it. I don't care.
right.
That's it. That's as far as it goes. And a lot of people will be like, you know, there's going to be people who'd say you'd like it a lot more if you played more. There's also going to be people who like you the way you talk
Fido
about
is
the game
not
sounds like
happy
you know
with me.
nothing about it. You need to play.
I guess I'm finishing this. And I'm finishing the stream. I'm gonna raid you into nobody's live right now, but whatever. I'm gonna Zubushu. Kid not kin, I guess. Okay, see you. Bye bye.